Alright, what's up, my good people? It is your girl, Mitch Gaming, and we are officially live tonight for the Battle of Titans finale. I know I was not here for day one, but we are finally here for day two, and I did catch up with some action. So I'm waiting to see how the teams are going to be performing. My co-cast might just be joining us in a few, but for now, I'll just be here with you guys and quite prepared to see how the teams are going to be performing. Seeing that I saw a couple of teams that I know are supposed to be doing a really good job. But then so far, how are you guys feeling? Are you excited? Because I mean, it is a finale where most of the action is what we are ready to be served at the end of the day. We want to go and sleep satisfied with the results and maybe satisfied with how our teams performed. Also, you can tell us in the comment section maybe the teams you are vouching for, teams that you want to see getting the chicken dinners. I saw a couple of good chicken dinners here and there, so we'll be seeing how that goes. But when you look at the overall standings, we can see Team Execute is leading 57 total points. They did get 2 chicken dinners. That is really impressive. We have Wild there coming second with 36. They only got 1 chicken dinner. I can see more there with the 35. We have 3 Crowns Esports coming in fourth with 31 points. XTC 29 points in the 5th place. DK, that is the Donkeys, coming in 6th with 28. Tribe Warriors in 7th place with 27. Time with Nova, we have 27 points for those two teams. You have in position 9, that is Foot, 20. ZE in 10th place with 19, Neon 11th with 18 total points, 12 your PST with 16, 13 we have Rage with 15, that is RRG. We have Mo as well there in 14th place with 12, PNX with 6, Not getting 5, 17th place we have FD with 3, and then Temper coming in 18th place with 0. I mean, that is really impressive. I can see 3 crowns and Wild, each one of them got chicken dinners, and then Team Execute, they outstanding performance coming from yesterday, so that is explaining why they are in the first place. Look at the overall top players. We have XTC Amar bagging 15 eliminations, a damage of 2,675. Second, we have EXE Pain getting 13 eliminations, a damage of 1,994. Third, we have Tribe Warrior player top C getting 8 eliminations, a damage of 1,699. Fourth place, you have More Sorcery getting 10 eliminations, a damage of 1,293. And then the 5th place, we have Donkeys player Tony getting 8 eliminations and dealing a damage of 1,476. I mean, that is amazing plays coming from all those players. I will be on the lookout to see how they perform today. Seeing that we are in day 2, of course, they are now familiar with each other. They know which teams are going to be avoiding. And of course, looking at the schedule for today's games, we'll be having Miramar as the first map. Second will be Erangel. Third, Sanhok. And then lastly, Erangel. But for now, let's head into the first game of the night. And that's going to be Miramar, the land of pure dust. So I'm hoping people will be ready to, cover their eyes, because what is about to happen will be something people will be talking about for a while. It is a battle of titans. The name itself, the name of the league, does tell you that you're about to battle, I believe, very intense teams. They are the battle of titans teams. It is the finale. If a team made it here, they actually worked their way through it. But as of now, looking at the flight path, we can see it cutting from the south and all the way to La Cobreria in Miramar. Most of the teams are lucky because the safe zone somehow decided to be in the middle of Miramar. Best place to be in is in the zone, because rotations in Miramar can be a little bit tricky, seeing that the zone can be very much damaging. Looking at Puerto Paraíso there, we are used to XTC landing towards the sides. They might just be making a very late rotation, but we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case or not. Most of the teams have not really landed in the safe zone yet. Most of them are just by the edges, so we'll be seeing how that plays out for the teams. Looking at teams like RRG there, they are also in Los Leones. They have a team right next to them. I believe that is Mo Esports. We'll be seeing how they perform in that fight, because those are two really good teams from different regions. So we'll be seeing how the fight does go by. But most of the teams there we have seen, they might be making some very interesting rotations. I will be interested to see how that goes. But everything is dependent on how the teams decide to play today. So Mo Esports in Los Leones, they have to be really careful. They have RRG we have very interesting players. I'm not sure about the lineup for these games coming from RRG, but when you look at Mo, we can see Calvin, Vortex, Lord, and Atrox, very good players from Mo Esports. Temper is also in the building. Four of their players are here. We have Captain Six God, Zank, and Rock. We'll be seeing how they do as well. I mean, all the teams that are participating in the Battle of Titans, we are very much aware of their capabilities. So we'll be seeing if that will be shown throughout the games here for day two in the finale. And of course, who will be crowned the best teams, the best team basically when it comes to the Battle of Titans. Every single good team is here. Looking at Wild, we have Zodiac, they are making their way through the loot. They have a team right next to them, and that I believe that is Tribe Warriors. They are also really close to them. This is in Chumasera. There are at least two teams here, but both of them are just solos, not really close to their teammates. I hope they are aware of that, because if he is not, he might be losing that fight sooner than we think. But we'll be seeing how this game will be transpiring at the end of the day. It is just the first game. It is Miramar. The teams are mostly warming up to the scene. They are preparing themselves for the battle that is to come. We have Three Crowns Esports, another very strong team. We can see Enjoy there, Aquila, for and Merrick in the building. Very good combination there in the lineup. So we'll be waiting to see how Three Crowns Esports performs as well when it comes to that lineup. I believe they have been putting up a fight already. One chicken dinner to their name. That means they might be looking for more. And also the teams that did not get chicken dinners probably will be looking for their chicken dinners as well. Team Execute here making their way to get some loot as well. Looking at the lineup, I'm also impressed. I'm seeing very good placements. Really, they have the fraggers. So I'll be seeing how that goes for EXE. Actually, seeing that they got two chicken dinners, having Swashi, Payne, Shakid, and Skr in the same team. That will be very interesting to see how this turns out. I am going to be on the lookout to see how these teams will be looking to get their fights happening there. So for now, the game will be a little bit slow. The teams will be waiting for that team to make one mistake, and it's going to be GG's for most, if not all, of the teams when it comes to the first stage of the zone. The zone has not yet started rotating, so that means everything will be a little bit different. But we'll be having a quick look at that as the games continue progressing, whether we'll be seeing very interesting fights or not. But as we continue watching the game, you can tell me in the comment section, is there a team that we should be looking at? Is there a team that we know is going to be doing really good, or you're expecting them to do good and we don't know what to expect about them? But you can tell me what you think about that. I'm going to be checking how to go about everything. But for now, XTC making their loot here, making their rotations in San Martin, trying to get their utilities right just to prepare for Miramar. This is the first time I have not seen an early fight in a tournament in Miramar. I've seen that most teams tend to learn together, and then you can start seeing the battle, the fights, and then now teams are deciding, let me not continue this fight, let me change my position. But as you can see, some teams are finally closing in, so we might just be getting some fight here sooner or later. But let's just give it time. Probably they're waiting to get into the battle as it continues. Rage Esports, they're another very good lineup for them. I mean, Slazy and Pew Pew in the same team. That means Rage Esports did not come to joke with anyone, but they are ready to get a chicken dinner. They put very good players. They have Meliod as well. Meliod, sorry. They have, I believe that is Alabala as well. Yes, that is Alabala. So I'll be seeing how that goes. But we can hear some sprays coming from the sides for Phoenix Esports. So probably there will be a fight here as well. So let's just wait and see how that goes. See that already one of the players is down. For Rich Esports, they are not looking to get any fight happening on their side. If that's a win for them, then why not? If it works for them, then they should go ahead and engage. And you can see Meliod is going in for that push. The revive has taken place, and he has to be careful because he's just one man going against two players. He does get the knock again on the initial knocked player, and he gets another knock there. Rage Esports finally have started the fight in Miramar. We have waited for a while before that fight happens, and Rage Esports has opened the way for all the teams to now feel a little bit confident and get on their battles. But so far, Phoenix, they're losing two of their players. They are on the losing side. Rage Esports players Lazy is waiting for someone to make a mistake, and that is a Phoenix player as he holds the compound right next to them. So far, fights are happening literally everywhere, and we want to see which team is going to be winning 10-11.
Uh-huh.
They're one elimination to their name, and I
Mm.
believe my co-host is here. But please say something, introduce yourself. Let's talk about something.
Yeah,
Welcome.
gentlemen. Let's welcome to all of you guys again, and thanks, ma'am, for such an welcoming intro. Yeah, this has been our very first time to share the custard desk, and now we can witness the second day for the competition that has been started on the previous day. And now we see lots of teams jumping onto the drop directions, and some of the teams are just fighting for the draw clash battles. As I see Team PST is losing to the players, Team Phoenix losing to the players. Maybe there were some early casualties, but they'll be so sure about this from the next stages because they might not want to lose the teammates on the end stages. And now, the battle should start in a stable way so that they might have their directed points to compete on the leaderboard. Now we see some
Mhm,
teams getting into the brawl. It's Team Novi Sports. Pogba charges the mini 14 and takes a knock. Seekers the knock two at the same time. That leads the finish there. But Team 1011 Gaming, ma'am, I was so in some doubts with Team 1011
mhm.
Gaming. Like, how should it be pronounced? 1011 Gaming or 1011 is as good?
1011 is fine.
Okay, so 1011 Gaming. Thanks
No,
for the
no, no, no.
correction.
1011, 1011. It's
Okay.
1011 XTC.
Okay, okay. Thanks
Yeah.
for that. That was fun. That was fun. Now, 1011 Gaming, I saw them on the first day doing some good
Mm-hmm.
results, but at the end, they're on the top five till now. So they need to
Mm-hmm.
shuffle the table as we see in Team Execute being on top by the consistency of taking two chicken dinners for the first two games on the first day. That was amazing. Like, one of the guy was left and he alone took the chicken dinner at the end by directing the game somehow. And then on the second game
Mm-hmm.
they kept the promise to making the consistency that amazed me on the first day. Now I'd like to see more from the team execute, and I'd like to see how team wild and team morvix sports and also team 3C and team 1011 gaming close to them to the competition
Mm-hmm.
shuffles the
Mm-hmm.
table. What do you say?
Yeah, I think you're actually right about that. I mean, yes, the table shuffling XTC can do better. They are a really
Mm-hmm.
good team, and I'm actually impressed with you saying that EXE did a good job. Two chicken dinners there, one person leading them to a chicken dinner. That is impressive, but it's something expected from EXE. They're really a good team. But as we talk on that note, we have the Donkeys. They are taking on a Three Crowns Esports. Already one of the players from 3C is down, and we can see Hancho there trying to get some nades to connect on the Nox player from 3C, trying to cook up another nade. Merrick right close to his teammate, but then he seems not to be interested in that fight for now. He wants to change his position. The Donkeys there have the visuals. They can see Merrick. They want to get the damage. Leo is basically at the best position as of now to be able to get some damage on 3C. But what they don't know is that Quilla is right behind them watching the fight as this happens. Beautiful damage with the Mini 14. Unable to get a knock yet. But then their teammate that is 3C4 might just be another casualty in the lobby for Three Crowns Esports. Two players down. Three Crowns, I've not had you touch on 3C
Mm-hmm.
as well. But how did they do yesterday, seeing that they got a chicken dinner? What was happening throughout the other games, the ones that didn't get a chicken?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. They'll do that. Team Execute started the game with the first knock, but not been able to secure it. And now the rest of the players like Payne. I was watching this guy for that day in particularly, like how he delivers the angles. That was amazing. But today the drop class fight comes for them in an advantageous situation where Team RRG loses two, but also gets to the rocks. That's where maybe you see in the start Team RRG taking the points, and now it's all about Pew Pew who needs to survive alone. No chances coming further for the rescue. So yeah, he'd been solo situation. Pew Pew now waiting for the push in from the team execution, but the name is execute. Sometimes I get it as like execution because all of the teams should perform the execution, right? So execution is an art
Exactly.
here. So they need to take the
Mm-hmm.
flanks, they need to take the positions as soon as they can according to the right angle. Now you see the grenades charging from Swash K, who is trying to identify like the player where he can be. but he doesn't has any informations like PPU is hiding on the behind of the compound, has only two weapons, and the second one is so deadly. Now he switched the weapon to the first one, that's a DBS. There might be some chances for the clutches, and PPU is waiting for the first player to show up, and that might be Swash K just needs to step in. And yeah, here we go. PPU stepped in and taking the first knock. Now the location been compromised, and now he knows that the rest of the players are gonna come in. There goes the second knock against
Wow.
Pain. That was such amazing. And now PPU looking for the next angle that he knows there's another player inside. There was the
What?
third knock, and our Rage Esports going in with the full clutch. Might be, it
What?
might be. Yes, it is.
Nah.
PPU did clutched out the table toppers here.
Wow. That is really impressive. I mean, Pew Pew, by himself with a DBS, one weapon, was able to take on a whole team, a team that is leading the table, just like you've said. Team Execute is the team that is leading so far. Two chicken dinners yesterday, and then one man Pew Pew from Rage Esports comes in with a DBS and does get a whole clutch on just the whole team by himself. That is really impressive. Amazing gameplay there from Pew Pew. I mean, I did not expect that, sometimes you're alone and you tend to panic, but he seems to be a very composed player that you've seen how he's taken on that fight. So big up to you, Pew Pew. But then now Temper has another team closing in on him now. That is the Tribe Warriors. Amazing damage there from Sting as Zeke tries to get a knock on him as well. He does go in
Wow.
with that spray, and Sting is down. And of course, he will be taking that player back to lobby. Tribe Warrior player Armani going away from this fight. That is the best thing to do, but he seems to be waiting to heal up fast before he can make any drastic moves, because for now, Zeke is watching the Tribe Warriors. He easily take them down. Tribe Warriors is down one player, that is Sting. They have only three players standing now. So he
Mm-hmm.
should probably be really careful there with their rotations, because if you start losing players, anything can happen. I mean, well, it can
Yeah.
go either way. Rage Esports Pew Pew has shown us that it's possible to clutch, but again, EXE was a full team, so there's another side of things. You can have the numbers, but still not be able to win a whole fight. These things happen.
Yeah, anytime, anything can happen on a competitive match. So sometimes that comes as a surprise and some special skills. And we've seen how Team Rage Esports doing that as clutch to the Team Execute, and that was the player Pew Pew. We enjoyed that clutch. And right now we see the 17 teams in the lobby. I've seen Team Tampa not participating on the first day, and as the second day they're just being in the competition. So this might be a tough competition for Team Tampa according to the matches, like they have previously missed four games, right? So all of the points
Mhm.
coming out from the four games would be a lack for the team, and they need to just be on top. But all you need is to touch out that 36 point to be on second, and all you need is
Yeah.
to more than 59 points, like 60 points is on the count to be on the top. And in between the four games you just need the consistency. Like just imagine you're getting just the four chicken dinners with 20 points coming from the per game, and that means you're just getting 80 points after just four games, and that means you can just keep up the consistency. But the easily I said it, this is not so easy to imagine in between these kind of
Yeah.
competitive games. I've seen all the teams defending so well, they're so accurate according to the trace knocks. Like nobody can pass on with a vehicle in front of them. The player just gets taken away just like that easy. Now it's Team Tribe
Mm-hmm.
Warriors losing the first player. Sting now gets them in trial, and you see the zone. It's the third stage, and some might be freaking out like how they should enter inside.
Yeah, they need to start making their rotations. Being in the third phase, we are going into the fourth phase. The damage from the blue zone might just be a little bit high for the teams to survive outside the zone, making the very late rotations. But we'll be seeing which team does get to maybe lose their team as the zone. We don't know about that. But then Zodiac Esports there seems to have been wiped out by the Donkeys, but then they cannot relax because another team does come in on the party here and they want to engage in a fight as well. We can see nades coming in from different angles, and they're looking for the Donkeys as they are trying to get the revives. The zone shifting now. Most of the teams luckily are in the same zone. The rest of the teams that are not there are making their rotations. I can see not there is not yet in the zone, so they should probably be looking for a way of making it to the zone here. But the nades are getting cooked. Zodiac Esports players are trying to get the Kobe's Donkey Tony being damaged as he tries to make his way closer to his teammate Leo. The zone is quite damaging. They should not engage in that fight outside the zone. A knock is in. That is Phoenix getting another Sanhok on the players from DK, and the players from DK will be feeling the pressure. Molly's every single angle, trying to make sure that players cannot be pushed by Zodiac. But then, is that going to be possible? People are going to be putting in the pressure. They need to get the eliminations done before anyone else third parties this fight. Leo trying to cook up a nade, looking for a Kobe, but then it doesn't really connect. Another nade is getting cooked up here. Zodiac player trying to get the revive, but also Midas is really trying to get the cover. DK quite low. He needs to get the push up in on Dybala. He is really, really low. A nade ammonia might just be the best thing, but then a player comes in from the back. Beautiful damage to the S12K, but then I mean the DBS is just better. Leo is just better at the DBS, and he does get the knock there on a player from Zodiac, and now just two of them remain standing. That is Phoenix getting nades towards him. And Hancho is not backing down from this fight. The nail looks perfect, does get the damage, but not yet. The damage is enough to go in for that push.
Yeah.
Another nade locks in, and we have the players from Zodiac getting eliminated just by grenades. And Zodiac Esports will be going back to lobby. Amazing play there from the Donkeys. I mean, the Donkeys is also a strong team in this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've seen them fighting that classic, man. On the being on the fourth position was not that easy on the first day until they started the competition on the being on at the fourth position. Not so good. Now you all need is the consistency to be at the end of the game so that you can get the chances and the opportunities to make in for the kills to get secured. Now let's see 14, 10, 11 gaming. They just witnessed the battles happening on the edge, and now they're also thinking like how to be in the party for now. You see them fake dreams, not getting enough points up to the first day, only with starting with the 3 points, and now the team is also losing the players. That gets them in trouble. Meanwhile, Team Fonsi Sports also facing the same problem as a Team FDs, like only just one player is left, and that is insane. But is looking forward for a good position to hold on to. That may be Russia comes in on the kill feed to make another knock. That may be the team as like Neon Rising, as I might remember. Yes, with the color. I just remembered the team name. So Team Neon Rising, it's been such in a good position for now. But as you see the zone, I was talking about. I was wishing to talk about the zone previously on the day. I see the zone meta is kind of different. Like the zone, every time it gets an issue, it gets on a hard shape, and that gets the teams in trouble. Like on the previous zone, they were on the edge side, and on the next zone ship, they are on the outside of the zone, and now they need to chase the zone again, right? So that gets
Mm.
the teams in problem again and again. And now I see 12 teams only. Just a moment ago, I've seen 17, but after the new zone
Mhm.
shift, it's just 12. Lots of teams being eliminated on that particular stage.
Yeah, I mean, the zone is not something people should be playing with. Looking at another team, that is Team
Yeah.
North, have been eliminated by the zone. I mean, we are losing teams one by one, which is really unfortunate, but they should start focusing on the zone. You talked about Temper. They're not been able to play a single game yesterday. That
Yeah.
means they're very much behind in terms of their points. They really need to get that going. They need to get their eliminations counting. They need to get their placement points as well. But as they do that, we have the Donkeys here really trying to make it to the safe zone. But then that is not going to be easy. Wild is right next to them, and Knock is already here. One of the teammates luckily has been revived. Big Crowns Esports sitting patiently in the safe zone, trying to get as many knocks as possible as the players try to make their way into the safe zone. More Esports waiting by the zone does get some damage there, and we have a player getting knocked there. And more Esports player Vortex is ready to engage in this fight. For more Esports, having one player down is not a good look. Having two people standing, they will be forced to take on this fight cautiously. Otherwise, they will be going back to lobby too early. But then Temper, they're having on their teammates down. Lord, making sure to clean up whatever is down, and he does take that player all the way back to lobby, leaving just two players standing from Temper. That is Coco and his teammate Nades coming in, and Zeke is down. Amazing Kobe. He
Oh.
tries to get the spray there, and more Esports players down. The zone is finally closing in. Lord will be making his way into the safe zone. Everyone has to start moving, otherwise you'll start counting teams losing their players to the zone again, just like we've seen before. I mean, teams were not having an easy time, and unfortunately, seems like Pew Pew has been spotted and actually has been taken by the zone was trying to make his rotation. So GG's on that.
Yeah, they're on that, but That was just a solo player, and he could do nothing at the
Mm-hmm.
moment he got spotted because there are some of the teams, they were attacking where with the firepowers like the manpower supports that actually worked for them for now. As the new zone gets in the mid shift and Team Donkeys has got in the northern western corner, that might has them in a good lead, but one of the players should go on the 8th side for the rescue. But this is just the very 6th stage where the Morvix Sports, yeah, is in the making, and now they has all of the players, so it's a good chance comes for them to get the splits as long as they can, as they should maintain those. But for Team Donkeys, it's been a really good problem because there's been a good closing attack, and Hancock needs to rescue, but the vehicle got blasted and the player got taken away, as well as Daibala also is no more in the match, where Tony just survives from the compound, and now he's the only player inside of the zone. You see that on the mini zone, no other teams are inside, and all of them just
Mm-hmm.
getting engaged with the teams from the edge side, and they're just trying to fight back so that they can make the point to get in. But the Novi Sports hasn't been in a good moment since the start of the 6th stage, just getting stuck on the edge of the south, and now all he gets is Team Morvix Esports on the path, so he needs to remove Team Morvix Esports. But being in a solo might be a problem for the player. Now Morvix Esports also knows about this, but maybe they're not risking in on the outside because the next 6th stage is going to be in the shift within just 20 seconds. But still Team Morvix Esports going in with some utilities, and that leads lots of damages with the player. But there, the next we see Tony fighting back against Team Neon Rising. He was waiting in the compound for a new team to get a slam in, and there's the slam in. Now the second grenade should get the knock, but that deals some damage, and Tony switches the weapon to the shotgun. There goes the shot. Oh my goodness, that
Wow.
shot was so personal and so quick because the grenade was about to load in, but Tony somehow made it for the survival. Now he will hold here till Team Neon Rising gets the revenge, but Matic for now he has no situation to get the revenge done for the team, so he only has the only single option left to survive alone. There goes Pasta securing Matic, gets to Neon Rising completely eliminated. Now we only have 3 teams with the Morvix who would have all the benefits to take this chicken dinner and make the chicken dinner for them.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, well, for Merrick, exactly, he has to really find a way of
Yeah.
getting that chicken, or he can try and get a way of getting to Quilla, but doing that whole rotation might just be close to impossible with all these teams watching from afar. Tony, they're getting quite damaged. He is a little bit safe for now, but we are not sure for how long he will be staying in that compound before the game decides he needs to start moving closer to every single team. Right now, Merrick trying to make the rotations, they're smoking himself just to ensure he's not exposed to all the teams. 3 teams remaining, the Donkeys, 3 Crowns, the Esports. They are going to be really close to each other there. I mean, the 2 teams have just but solo standing, and for the other team, they're really lucky in terms of numbers. For any competitive game, the numbers always count, and they always not wait for this Battle of Titans. That is not the case. The numbers, yes, are supposed to be what makes everything work, but we have been proven wrong by Pew Pew, and we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case for now. Mary could also change the tables for us, and we might be seeing him giving us a whole chicken dinner by himself, but we'll be waiting to see if that's going to be the case for him. The Donkeys player Tony finally making it to the safe zone. And we can see beautiful space there for Merrick, and that knock might just be the thing that makes it impossible for Movix Esports to get that chicken dinner. They will be a little bit confused here. They're trying to make it to the safe zone, and Tony is also enjoying this fight here. Nades come from every single angle, and that nade will be getting a Kobe. And just like that, game 1 is finally done. Movix Esports getting an easy peasy chicken dinner. They had the numbers, they had the locations, and they had that one grenade that had to connect and give them a winner chicken dinner. Hmm. Okay,
Yeah.
looking okay.
I'm back. I'm back. Okay, so I was meeting the mic, but I was so amazed by the control of the Morvix Esports, just taking the southern western corner and controlling the whole circle, not giving any advantages to the opponent. There was not any dangerous flank, so where they might face the casualty for the player for the flank, but they have made it sure like the team gameplay worked really well, and now they're on the top second. We have seen team execute taking 59 points, and now look at the points of the Morvix has the 55 points, and that means the competition is so close for now. The second day is definitely going to be the good day for Team Morvix after the first game. Let's see if any new team comes further on the next game. But Pasta, there he gets 3 contribution for the team. More Rage yeah, gets 3 eliminations. Then Langshi or Langji, no, Langshi might be a good pronunciation, gets 3 eliminations, and then Sorcery gets also one. Nobody's getting just empty-handed, so that deals them 10 eliminations and getting them 20 points from the game. And now we see the match summary where 66 eliminations were done. That means the lobby was balanced, and now the 60 knockouts. That also tells us there were no one was safe inside of the game. But we hadn't seen any vehicle eliminations on this game.
Yeah, no one was moving around with vehicles trying to maybe farm some kills, but that does happen. But the grenade eliminations, we saw them live on our screens. That was really impressive to see coming from the teams here. And as we look at what happened in the game, more esports here had every single chance of taking on the players from Temper Esports. They got their knocks, they're able to test their knocks, but then that chicken was not theirs for now, because
Mhm.
as they were engaging that fight, they somehow lost while the zone started moving. But Temper here did put up quite a fight. But we have to talk about Donkey, the man of the match here. He was surviving every single chance he got. He was able to survive, but then unfortunately the last zone fight was just not having it for him. And luckily for Movex Esports, they had the numbers and they were able to get themselves a beautiful winner chicken dinner from that game. And surprisingly, the MVP is none other than Donkey. It's actually not surprising because we have witnessed him doing
Yeah.
exactly that, getting the 9 eliminations, dealing 1008 damage, 1 assist, 381 kills, 5 knocks, and surviving a total of 24 minutes and 30 seconds. So Tony did actually deserve that MVP. He dominated throughout the game. And looking at the top players, Tony is leading, of course. Then we have in the second place Pew Pew, 6 eliminations, a damage of
Wow.
1148. Neon Murtic getting 3 eliminations, 601 damage. Fourth, we have More Rage, 3 eliminations, a damage of 394. And then in fifth place, there we have Temper Coco, 3 eliminations
Wow.
and a damage of 47. I believe they deserve to be there. We have seen these players dominating from the word go.
Yeah, and then the clutch. Absolutely, you should remember about that. Pew Pew
Mm,
did clutched out the tabletoppers, and that settles the score on the competition. That there the game change actually happened. Team Execute couldn't been able to secure any more points from the game, and that settled the gap between the tabletoppers, right? And now the more has the chicken dinner, and that gets them so close with the team. Like only have 4 points for the competition. Yeah, 4 points in the gap in the making, and now the gap should be covered on the first battle. Team Morvix does on this very second game. Now we see the match rankings. Team DK means Donkeys taking 20 points even without the chicken dinner. There were 14 eliminations, and now you see the Morvix Sports even been able to take the chicken dinner, but that was same. So it's all that counts that our Mitch Gaming or Ma'am, yeah, that sounds best. So yeah, ma'am explained, like, the points should count. That's all that matters in the competition. According to a
mm.
competition, this is only that thing you got, so to fight with. Then Indian Rising has 11, Temper has 9, Three Crown Sports has 8, RAG Sports has 7, Maui Sports has 5, North has 4, 3 for Fake Dream, 2 for 10 11, Future Sports, Execute, and Persecutors. Like 4 teams getting the same numbers. That we see Team Wild and Phoenix and Tribe Warriors also taking 1, but not any point coming for Team Zodiac Sports and Team Not. Now, the second thing that we should see, that how this shuffled the competition, how this affected the competition, and what is the gap they're sharing. Like anybody can become the champion, right? At the till the end,
Mm,
right? And the hype
yeah.
should maintain before the game ends. The competition actually ends. This is just the second day, and we should have 3 days for this competition, right? So 12 matches in total.
Yeah. I mean, we really need to see that. You talked about the margin, and we need to see that. But when you look at the overall top players, it seems like Amar is still leading because his damage is quite high compared to Tony, even though for Amar, 16 eliminations on his name, with Tony having 17 eliminations. The damage could be the reason why Amar is still leading. Third place, you still have EXE Pain amongst the top players with 13 eliminations, a damage of 1,994. More Sorcery coming in fourth with 11 eliminations, a damage of 1,721. And then we have more Pasta with 11 eliminations and a damage of 1,605. Amazing gameplay coming from all these players. Being able to still dominate the games is something we are here to see, and I'm hoping they will be carrying the same energy throughout the games and probably maintaining the same place. And it seems like the table has turned. What do you think about this?
I think Team Morvix should clearly going for the next target for Team Execute, and Team Donkeys also being ready for that, because they do know that Team Morvix is gonna dominate, so they should be careful. And then Team Three Crown Esports also getting so close with almost 40 points, and they'll be sitting while getting close to Team Three Crowns, and that gets the competition in the top 5 teams. It just some of the points, like 13 points needed for Team Wild to touch the 50, and a total of 21 points needed to get close to Team Execute. So that's a good
Mhm.
target in with the top 5 competitions. But is it Team Nov Esports, XTCs, Neon, and TBW getting also close? They just need one sparkle to happen. Like the next game is important for them. If they can take
Yeah.
that much point, like 15 to in within 20 points, that might change the competition a bit, like a bit higher.
Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry about that. I do agree with you. And of course, I'm still amazed with how the tables are turning. When I was looking at it at the beginning of the game, everything was just looking Team Execute was too far out in terms of the rankings, and most of the teams would have had a very hard time catching up. But then for more esports, they just came in well and decided they need to get themselves a very amazing chicken dinner that did close that margin quite beautifully. So I'm really invested now to see if Team Execute in the next games will be looking to get maybe a chicken dinner or move a little bit higher
Hmm.
before Movex is able to get the rather the
Yeah.
first place position. But all this will depend on the second game, I believe so, because for now we will be waiting to see what will happen in Erangel since that we have finished the first game, and that was Miramar, and the next game will be Erangel. I believe that will be it for game one. For now, we'll be taking a very short break with my co-cast York, and we'll be right
Yeah.
back. Do not go anywhere.
Yeah. So do not go anywhere. Keep watching.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! This planet reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load of Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
are back, and of course, it is Mitch Gaming and QRK on the screen for you guys. Welcome back to day two, game two for the Battle of Titans games. I mean, QRK can tell us a few things of what he thought about the game we just saw, and which team will you be looking at when it comes to game two?
Yeah, I'd be looking for the competitors like Team Morvix and also for Team Wild. And I'm having some of the opinion for Team 3 Crown Esports too as they're playing the end games. So I'm hoping for them, but clearly I should pick only one team. I should not get in that doubt. Like it's Team Morvix for now as they have shown the consistency in the first game. And I think like they did not let it go that easily. Now the flight path comes here and the teams are going to head for the drop directory locations. We might see some of the droplet battles on the map and that will change something like if the tabletoppers being engaged in the dropless battles that might affect the competitions according to the point counts.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll be waiting to see as well. You've mentioned a team that is wild. I have not seen them that much in the game, but I saw them
Mhm.
there getting a couple of knocks initially and engaging for some time against, I believe that is more esports. But since you've mentioned them, I will be on the lookout to see how they go about it. You basically avoided picking one team, that's fine. You don't have to pick a
Mhm.
team, but we'll wait and see how that goes. I want to look at the flight path here. It is coming from the northern side in Stalba all the way to military base. And most of the teams somehow have decided not to land in the safe zone. They have gone far out outside the safe zone. They are quite comfortable staying there and maybe just to loot up real quick and then they'll be headed towards the safe zone. And I decided to lean towards the eastern side of Erangel. So most teams will be making rotations. But for XTC, luckily for them, we know they love landing in Esnaya Poliana. Whether the zone is there or not, you will find them there, and they have gone to the exact same place. So we'll be waiting to see how that goes. I'll be looking at Pew Pew now. Seeing
Mhm.
that he's a very interesting player, calm and collected, quite ready to take on any fight. I mean, that clutch was one people will be talking about for a while because
Oh, wow.
there's no way he was that confident with the DBS to be able to take on a whole team and not just any team, team execute. So I'll be looking to see how he performs when it comes to this second game of the night.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd be looking for that play too, as he amazed us. That was an unexpected clutch, as you mentioned it, because there was the tabletop, and it's not just any other team; it's Team Execute. So I might be looking for the play too, but this time Team Fake Dreams should get some points because from the start of this competition, they have been not in any good position till now. So this is the day, and before the last day comes, you all get the chances to go in a versatile mode. Like you can plan a different things in a game. You can just experiment with your plans, with the executions. As I've seen lots of lobbies like from the South Asia, Southeast Asia, and main lobbies, and I've seen them like, and I've been watching also the PL lobbies too. I'm quite analyzing them for a long time, but I've never seen this kind of zone meta that I'm watching here. Previously on this fourth games on the first day, I was so shocked with every zone shifts. Like it was every time it was getting a heart shape. Every single time it was getting the heart
Mm-hmm.
shape. I've just seen really one moment in one game that was supporting the center point before the next news comes, right? But every
Mm-hmm.
time you have seen that on the first Miramar game, the zones were not supporting the teams at all. So every time the zones get shift, the AG teams needs a new rotation, and that's where they get cut it off. And the players gets off, and that's how they faces the difficulties. Like lots of players were at the end of the first game in solo, so
Mm-hmm.
they couldn't do that much by being in solo because their grenades so accurate to hunt them down on the place. The teams are also
Mm-hmm.
getting so close, not fearing anybody, but planning on their own. But now we see on the very big location the teams like Team Tribe Warriors and Team Not being engaged here. And before even we talk about anything, Team Tribe Warriors has just made the first point to get secured by Sting. And that's the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we're just getting started and they already have 1 point already. I mean, it's a competition, so every single point matters. That one elimination making it to the top six. Everything just matters. But we'll be seeing how the teams take that, seeing that this is a finale. So I'm hoping they're putting that in mind while they do that. But for Tribe Warriors, a lot of needs are getting cooked towards a team not player that is not this time. Actually, it is this time because Tribe Warriors player that is top C does get that knock on him, and you can see his teammates are going in for that, which they want to make sure that that revive doesn't really happen. So one person standing from Team North, that means he will be going away from this fight. I hope he will be going away from this fight because losing too early in the game might not be an option, since all the three players have been eliminated. And it's a good thing that Smash has decided to go far away. But then luck is not on his side because there is a team right in front of him. Luckily, they have not spotted him and they'll be going farther away from him. So he has a chance of at least camping somewhere and avoiding this fight till further notice. But for Team North, losing a fight this early might just be a disadvantage, but we saw that a solo can survive any situation. They just have to relax and be composed, and then maybe we'll see them winning and clutching a couple of games. But then we have a team here that is Future Esports. They will be waiting on the teams that are going to be crossing this bridge. I believe the 10-11 XTC is in Yasnaya Poliana. Depending on how the zone decides to move, then maybe they will be encountering Future Esports. Well, then we'll be waiting to see if that's going to be the case. Near Rising as well is along the northern side here. They are going to be forced to do their rotations further away, but they have to be careful as well. I mean, Yasnaya is not that far from where they are, and they might be exposed to XTC depending on how Neon Rising does their rotation. And you've been here from day one, and I want to know
Mm-hmm.
about the Neon Rising gameplay from game one, and now how they are playing, knowing that Neon Rising is also a good team. They are really good there in the Nigeria games. They are really good. So I'm really interested to know what happened there for them in the first day,
The
and
first
can
day,
they
right?
change that here today?
I think they have changed their plans somehow by taking the early rotations here. I've seen them getting a hold in within the fifth stage on the very first days. Team Indian Rising were doing good on the first, 4v4 battles, and then when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to the end stages, they're losing the players on the rotations. So I
Mm-hmm.
hope today they'll come up with the changes with the rotation plans so that nobody can get the advantage of cutting off the players to the edge before getting
Mm-hmm.
entered on the atmosphere. Now you see Team Tampa, I guess they are yeah in a disadvantage at the start of when he took the name, but yeah, look at them managing the situation like getting an encounter on the opposite, and now Team
Mm-hmm.
Tampa taking the next knock to get them in a good situation. Team Morvix, which I was expecting to do good, not just doing good this time. They're facing the problem with the players. Now they cannot go with the rescue option. Only the thing they have is the elitists to be charged in, so that the teams fear some to get the push. But Team Tampa is not losing the temper, but controlling it all and taking the lead back again against Team Morvix.
True.
So there we
Mm-hmm.
see the second competitors falling apart.
Yeah, that is really good. You say they're not losing their temper, and that is exactly it. They're not really losing it yet. They're ready to take on the players from Movex Esports. Though for Movex, that they have lost a couple of players, that does put them at a disadvantage for Sorcery. He needs to go as far away as possible. This is another solo player being left behind by a team just because they decided to get into a fight too early in the game. For more esports here, they are in the blue zone. They need to make their rotations towards the safe zone. Otherwise, this zone is not anyone's friend. We have been saying that from the word go. You need to make your rotations as early as you can. Otherwise,
Yeah,
the zone might be forcing you to lose a couple of players along the way. And for the players from Phoenix Esports, they're ready. That is Neil is down. More esports Vortex trying to get the thrust here, but they also really need to be on alert here with the zone. They need to start making their rotations. That fight can be either possible or not possible, depending on the IGL's decision. But if I were them, avoiding that fight would have been the best thing for now. The Donkeys making their rotations around Milta. Most of the teams in this game, just like game one, they do not want to take on any early fights apart from the two teams we have seen taking on the fights. But most of them are finding it more advantageous just to avoid the fights and wait for the last zone. Now, for the last zone fights, the one thing I tend to pity some teams is when they happen to have not
hmm
they do not have really good devices. Maybe the device is
hmm
low on
Android.
charge. That's Not no. What do you 100?
Okay.
100 players are listening, they'll feel bad. Okay,
Okay.
but
Okay. I
but
should
yeah,
know that.
I don't know. Maybe. But yeah, I
Okay.
think the last zone fight, some devices might be having a really hard
Mm-hmm.
time. But I mean, we've seen more Vex has been eliminated. What do you think about that? It's too early. They got a chicken dinner. I don't think they will be
Yeah.
taking execute from position one now.
Now, yeah, now they do not have the chance, and Team Execute knows this. They have read the kill feed, so they really go for the option, like go for the stable gameplay, play the end game. So you should avoid the early casualties, early battles, and some of the teams are
Mm,
doing that. Like you've seen Team Donkeys taking the decision, like not getting engaged earlier, and they need the best position to deliver the plans. And for that, Team Donkeys has chosen the best place so far, as I guess. But the next zone will be definitely onto the opposite side where it is in shifting right now. So I hope every team is prepared for the next rotations to make on. But for team not, it's not really the best moment for now for them to move in, because there are some other teams moving forward, and just Smash only has got one responsibilities to witness for the teams, like which paths they're choosing for. And
mhm.
obviously, if the next zone comes and if he starts to get the rotation for the team, then if he would be safe or not, he might be thinking about that before. Or meanwhile, we see Team 1011 gaming like 1011 XTCs looking for some, but Team Neon Rising fighting back with Team Nob Esports. That was Wizard Boss taking two players in a row from this ground floor of the compound, and now looking forward for the final player, like where he can fall back. And that is Kalari, who's falling back but gets caught up because the players are following him through the rotation, and now one of them gets the spray done for the player to trace him down. But Kalari switches the steering wheel to the next possible location where he thinks that he might be safe in. But not for long, I guess, because the path he was choosing into, there is Team FD, means fake dreams, and I hope Team Kalari is having the fake dream for now to survive, because fake dream is really going for the elimination for Kalari right now. They understood that there is a player, right? You heard the engine of the buggy, and now you know there is
Yeah,
a player entering in the
yeah.
atmosphere where you are holding in. So Kalari understood as soon as possible, and he's going out to the vehicle like he should be in a safe distance where the grenade cannot
Hmm.
touch him. So only the option he lets 14 fake dream to get close, but there can come the opportunities for the clutches. But Kalari is getting back again. This might be a problem for the player, but no, he survives. He survives. His fake dream is not going with any sprays. He's not hoping this. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Kalaris are having a good time. It seems like he's just having fun because
What?
he's going from one side, he's trying the drift and then coming back, Just he's having the time of his life. Let him do his thing, Let him
Yeah.
have fun. If he gets eliminated, he had fun while doing it. That I think that's what he's telling himself. But maybe he's just been a little bit smart with the move here, trying to see the locations for fake dream to see if anyone
Mm-hmm.
is going to try and engage, and then maybe he can analyze and say, okay, I think there are people here, then this place and that place. So let me be careful. But that will not be the case for more esports. They are scouting out the place. We had them make their rotations. They have to be really careful of staying here because we saw Neon Rising coming along that side in the northern side of Erangel here, and they might be forced to take on a fight in case Neon Rising closes in on more esports. But for Neon Rising, somehow, oh, actually, they did not go all the way up there, so they are lucky for now. They went towards Yesnaya Poliana. But then for Team
Mm-hmm.
North, they have been spotted there by 10% damage on him. And he will be eliminated. An easy spray there from Temper. And for Smash, that will be GG's for North Esports. And better luck in the remaining two games. But then so far, the zone is about to close. And again, we are in the third phase, going into the fourth stage, where everything will become a little bit heavy for the teams. The game will start making sense because now they will be forced to take on the fights. Look at that Team Execute. They seem to be losing players. Zaber with the DBS trying to go in for that, push. The player is quite low. Healing might be the best option, but then he seems to be comfortable going in for that push. And Team Execute
Oh.
does get eliminated.
Oh.
Oh, it was only Zaber, and Swashi actually does come in with a save, and he saves them from tribe warriors. I mean, that knock there, when I saw Zaber go down, I knew Zaber was done and the team was done. But then luckily
Oh.
Swashi was in the building, and he was able to save him just before he was taken back to Lobby. So that is a really good comeback here for Team Execute, but then they have to be careful. We can see Slazy, and where Slazy is, Pew Pew is as well.
Oh, Pew Pew and Lazy. Look at Lazy getting the first knock here. Team Rage Esports getting all of the rages for Team Execute. Why they became the tabletopper? That's the main question. But Team Execute answers it like what we did. We just played well on the first day. Now you should play well too. Now Rage Esports, yes, trying to play well here. Pew Pew goes in the grenade, and the grenade should not touch the players. But there are lots of grenades in an encounter too from the Team Executes. They do know how to hold Team Rage Esports from being close to them, from being pushed down. And now Pew Pew understands that those players are not gonna give up, so he should go with the grenades. There goes the grenade. Pew Pew get the second knock. Now Shaki and Jave both should hold, but this is not the best possible location to hold against a team which is trying to go with the grenades, because the grenade can hunt you even you are in the cover, even if you are in the cover, but the grenade can get you in a corner, like it can touch you because the grenade has a damage area, right? And the damage area might, yeah, can get you in trouble at this kind of moment when you have Team Fake Dreams on the other side who is looking out for you if you're trying to execute a battle, or if you're trying to execute in a spray from Team Execute. I was talking about execution because the team named as Execute, so they should execute some. Now in Trick Round Sports are fighting with Team Temper on the kill feed, and I see that Team
Mhm.
Temper today. I counted for Team Temper, like they're just missing the previous 4 games, right? So on
Yes.
this day, what they can do, they can take a minimum of 15 points from per game on the first game today. They've taken 9 points, and now they need kind of more, like 21 more points. But for now, the situation system, Tempe is losing the players, and one of the players is also getting bleed out, so they need to rescue the player as soon as possible. And I see the confirmation from the live feed that the player has been rescued. But now it's time for Team Novi Sports to fight with Team Movi Sports. There the grenade comes in and the grenade goes too, but Kalari is just taking some patience here before going in all out, and the next zone gets a new sheet from the northern corner that gets the teams like T Crown and Team Novi Sports in trouble on the eastern side, where Team Fake Dreamers also waiting at the moment for the perfect opportunity, but no opportunities are coming in for them to get engaged till now. We have seen lots of teams going around them, right? But they're not
Mhm.
interested to engage in.
Yes, yes, that is true. Most of the teams are avoiding the fight. I believe they just want their points for now. It is getting intense, you know. We're in the second day, one more day, and everyone will know who is the Titan to avoid. But that is something we'll be waiting to see. Looking at Kalari, he's still surviving. How I do not understand. Somehow he just has some luck in this game, and no one is able to take him out. Everyone is a full team, but Kalari is a solo, and no one is still able to go in for that push. I think he's either releasing some energy that people feel like it's a whole
Mm-hmm.
team, but it's just one guy and they don't want to go in for that push. Totally okay. But Kalari, he just feels nice because more esports is there. Fake Dreams is there. No one is engaging. But then when you look at Temper, already one of their teammates, that is Six scored, is down. That leaves only one man standing. That is Zeke with the F12K. Goes into the FPP, tries to get the damage here. But then Phoenix Esports, they have the nades. Sane trying to cook up another nade as well. But then Temper is not having it. The nades are not really connecting. Insane is just but a solo. And the player from Temper is a solo as well. He goes in for that push. DBS in hand there. Tries to get the P fires. But then he goes back, retreats again, and avoids that fight. What he doesn't understand is that they are both solos, and only one single shot from either of the S12Ks with DBS. One of the teammates will be going in for that push, and we have Zeke there finally going in for that push, and that means for Phoenix that will be GG's for them. And that is not the only fight that is about to be very interesting. We have the players there from the Donkeys. Phoenix from Zodiac,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, is waiting to go in for that push, and Tony, he is down as well. And now only one person will be standing, that is Midas from Zodiac Esports. The Donkeys will not be resting because XTC will be joining the party. Nades will start making sense here. Kobe's will start counting, but then we'll be seeing if XTC will be taking on this fight. Yeah, they are just closing in the mark there. We know him for being a grenadier, so let's see if that nade is going to be connecting as the players from the Donkeys try to get the reverse. So every single place right now is on hit. The people are getting damaged, people are getting pushed, people are getting eliminated. Fake Dreams
Yeah.
finally have been pushed, and we have the last player there. That is Blood being taken back to lobby. Looking at what is happening in this game, no one is no longer safe. The game is almost coming to an end, and all the teams are losing players. People have become grenadiers, and the nades that they have been looting throughout the games are finally coming to play in these fights.
Absolutely. I was hoping a backstab or I was hoping a surprise attack from the player we sent to
Mm,
fake dreamers being in the shack and hoping for a
mm,
player to get in. The player got inside but he didn't shot it out. So that's how he got eliminated. You have to make it in a hurry. Like you have to do it in on time and that did. Yeah, that was such good by Team Neon Rising, defending a team getting close, and I see Team Tampa also losing the players, and maybe that was the final player from the team. Yeah, and that's how Team Tampa got the GG moment here, getting eliminated on the 11th position, not getting any placement points. Now we only do have 9 teams left in the competition. You see the top third competitor and the top fourth competitor is still surviving the full roster, except Team Donkeys surviving in a trial. But the next fifth stage says you have to rotate it to that zone again. So all of the teams are not getting the safest moment. Like they cannot be ensured that the point they're choosing for the battles would be inside of the zone for the next 2 or 3 shifts. It's all about the next zone, and whenever the next
mhm.
zone comes, all of the team gets inside of the vehicle. Like, hey, now we have another target for the new zone. So let's go,
Yeah.
let's get on, let's move, boys. Now Team Donkeys fighting with Team XTCs, and Team XTCs losing the players, but Team PSTs also like named as persecutors fighting with Team Rage Esports. That counts Team Rage Esports in a trial for now, but Team Future Sports fighting for a long time. I can see from the kill feed with Team Neon Esports and Team Neon Rising leading the players, but now Future Botany has got a good responsibility
Wow.
to take a knock, and he get the knock. That was Botany to knock out the player. But I see Wizard Boss
Wow.
hoping to encounter the grenade, but gets a grenade encounter from that guy named as that guy. And then I see Team XTCs losing out the players again, but countering against Team XTCs. But Team Neon Rising and Team Fuji Sports, all of them getting connected somehow in a triangle battle, like from the 8 sides the teams are interfering, and Team XTC somehow manages to get a lead again. Now, Team Fuji Sports fighting with Team Neon Rising on this compound, and the rescue has been completed by both Henny. Now he will be freshed out, and he can get some time to deal with the player, but this time he's not alone, he's with the players. But there we go, Midas from the kill feed, doing a clutch with just one grenade against Team Three Crown Esports, and I see Team PST is also fighting Team
No.
Mao Esports. That's amazing from the kill feed. Just like one grenade gets three of the players of Team Three Crowns. You see the players getting bleeded out, and everywhere the
Yeah.
battle is getting started. This is just a full chaos on this very sixth stage where Team Neon Rising will be no more, but it makes TC short in future. You might say future.
I mean, that is impressive. You say that one grenade, and I was looking at the kill feed, and I was surprised that one person is almost causing chaos in a whole game. But then, luckily for Three Crowns, we'll be getting the revives for 10, 11 XTC. That will be GG's for them, and you'll be seeing them in the next couple of games. But then, so far now, the teams are making their rotations towards the zone. There are sprays literally every single angle because almost all the compounds have been occupied. The teams have to make the right decision right now. We have DK player Dybala going up the roof here, trying to make sure he has enough visuals to get at least some knocks and even some thrusts on the teams as they make their rotation. But the zone is not with the donkeys. That means they need to start moving as well. Rage Esports player having only Meliod here by himself. The others are making their rotations. Pew Pew getting closer. One of the teammates is down. Pew Pew might be following the same fate, but then luckily for him, he does use the vehicle as cover and he'll be healing up before he engaged in that fight. But then the players are going in for that push. The donkeys finally going for that push. The players on Three Crowns losing players one by one. Quilla having just one player standing, that is Merrick. But then luckily that vehicle did cause some commotion, and the players from the donkeys now will be getting the revive before Three Crowns Esports is able to engage. Quilla getting the revive. Tony getting revived as well. Dybala going in for that push, and Future Esports is still dominating. Their fight here in the compound is still going their way. But then for how long will they be holding the compound? Then Three
Oh,
Crowns Esports have been eliminated by the donkeys, and the donkeys as well have been eliminated by Future, and that means only two teams remain standing. Rage Esports, two players standing, Pew Pew and Labala. That means for them, Palabala, sorry, they will be going in for that
yeah.
fight, going against Future Esports. I mean, Future Esports is not ready to lose here. They're looking at the future and they believe they are the ones getting the title as the kings of the Battle of the Titans. But then Labala here, Palabala, sorry, is going to go in closer. Pew Pew still surviving. I mean, Pew Pew did dominate initially. So this might just be his chance to dominate again. And if he does that, I believe everyone will be talking about Pew Pew for a very long time. Three players on each side of the teams here. The question is who will be getting the win here? Seeing that Future is already having a 55% chance of getting the win, and for Rage having just a 45% chance, we'll be seeing if that statistic is correct depending on how the two teams perform in this last fight.
This is gonna be the very end game for the second game, and right now I see Team Fuji Sports not being inside in this next stage where Team Rage is having a good moment too, not getting close to the zone. But the situation gets both the team in trouble. Now Mafioso gets the first grenade that leads PP getting taken down. Then Buruni comes up with another grenade that gets Melio getting taken down, and it's like Team Rage Esports losing in the moment. Only one of the players left, and that is Palabala, who is in the charge for now. But all he has to do is the clutch. Now he goes with the first knock. There goes the first knock. He tries to do the second trace, but he got caught up by Mafioso. Then he charges the shotgun too, but gets caught up by
Wow.
Bodani. And that's how Team Fuji Esports is taking the chicken dinner
Let's
away and
go.
walking out with a phenomenal victory. Winner chicken dinner for the team, and that gets the comeback too in the kill feed this time. But Team Donkeys, I've clearly noticed the team getting 10 eliminations. That might get them some points to compete with Team Morvix. Now the Morvix gets eliminated at first, and that means there's a closer team executes for now. But for the chicken dinner, Team Fuji Sports definitely being in the top five right now.
Yeah, I mean, Future Esports did exactly that. They watched all the fights happening around them, and you can see that team itself getting a total damage of 2,586 coming from the 12 eliminations, and that means they were really farming. They
Mm.
really wanted that chicken. They did put in that effort, and you can see it finally come into play. And they, of course, will be enjoying an amazing, easy winner chicken dinner. Looking at the team starts here, we have Future Mafioso getting 4 eliminations and a damage of 782. Botani getting 6 eliminations, a damage of
Wow.
1024. But then it seems like Shu Ronaldo himself was
Yeah.
not in the game for quite some time there, but it's totally okay because we have their drip coming in there, getting at least 2 eliminations and a damage of 757. The team there did get enough effort across the team. You can see how much damage Botani has there. He did put in that effort, and of course, we know why he was there because I mean, the first fight there
That knock.
against Neo Rising, that is when we knew Botani was in for some blood. He was ready to take on that fight till the end. From the beginning, when everyone was distracted, Botani and his teammates were somehow watching everything as it happened, and you can see how they were really putting on the pressure. And the last blow there, we had Botani taking on the last player from Rage Esports. I mean, that is amazing.
As well. Yeah, I'd like to completely agree with you. Team Fuji Sports were looking out for the futures of other teams. They were coming out from the future, and they did knew like what is going to happen if they take the compound, and that compound gets them lots of points. They have defended against two teams we have seen in a row. BDB on that compound, the ground battle, the second floor battle, the clutches were good. You have clearly mentioned Botany doing all of the main things like the game changes in that whole game. Now it's time for the hit segment where Team Future Sports showed what they're made of, like 2,586 damages and 14 knockouts with the 12 eliminations with there. But according to the eliminations, Team Donkeys did so great too, like same eliminations, but they only has the 5 placement points from the top 3. Team Donkeys did maintain their consistency. It's not all about the chicken dinner. Like if any team gets a
Mhm.
chicken dinner, they shouldn't be the only one to be praised. The teams, those are also competing and taking their targeted points as well, should also be praised out. And Team Donkeys did great on that job, and now they'll be competing in within the top 5 teams again. I hope in within the top 3 teams, because that's it. Team Execute not being able to maintain the position for now. Now we might have a new table topper on this overall leaderboard after the first 2 games, and the remaining 2 games they should be accurate on the terms of the plans, that how the plans should be executed and what is the stage they can be hold on to, and how long they're gonna play the game. Now it's all about the MVP, and that is none other than
Let's go. Future Botani. And he gets himself 6 eliminations. I mean, a damage of 1024. Botani there did put in that effort, man. We have to give him that. He really pulled off that work for his team, and getting that title is well deserved. Surviving 24 minutes, 46 seconds, and getting 4 knocks and a healing of 293. The player was out to win. He was ready to be crowned the MVP for game number 2. We have just watched 2 games, and this might have just been the best game yet, seeing that the teams are now getting comfortable. So GG's there for you, Botani. Coming second on the top players list, we have a more esports player, that is Aatrox, 5 eliminations at damage of 688, and then third we have Temper Zik, 5 eliminations at damage of 673. Fourth, we have another future player, that is Mafioso, 4 eliminations, a damage of 782. And then the Donkeys player, Tony, again in the top players list, getting 3 eliminations and a damage of 827. I believe that does change the overall ranking for the top players, seeing that Tony is the only person who has still maintained as a top player. Might just be moving Amar from his position, but we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case when we get to see the overall top players so far. But then, I mean, Botani, he should be amazed by his consistency there in the last zone fights. Maintaining that compound for future should be a plus for them. They held that compound. Every single team that tried to remove them from that compound, they said no, and they said we are not moving, and you'll just have to wait there and see. And they get a total of 22 points in total from that game. The Donkeys coming in second at 17. Third, we have 3 Crowns Esports are tying with Rage Esports at 4th place with only 9 points. Mo Esports and Neon Rising together, the Persecutors, getting 7 points each. Temper getting 6. Team Execute getting 4 points a time, with Tribe Warriors with 4 points as well. Fake Dreams they're getting 3 points in total. Zodiac Esports getting 2. Wild and Phoenix tying with 1. And then XTC, Movex Esports, Nov Esports, and Team Note, unfortunately for those teams, they have not really gotten any points yet, and it is quite alarming there for Movex Esports, especially seeing that they were almost leading. That will be changing, and just like I told you, you can see Tony finally is the one leading in the overall top players. There are 20 eliminations to his name, with Amar now getting second place at 16. Third, we have Neon with 13 eliminations. Fourth, Pain with 14 eliminations, and then fifth, Pew Pew with 11 eliminations.
Wow. PP with Pain, Wizard Boss, Amar, and Tony. But there is one synchronization between Amar and me. His name is Amar, my name is Amor. Even though we share different regions, but yeah, I was so surprised on the first day. Like, I see Amar, I still do remember about spelling my own name. My dad shared to, told me to like spell it like Amar. Then it got changed with the pronunciation like Mor. But still, my first spelling was like Mar. So when I saw the player, I was so happy. Like, okay, I'm not in the competitive scenario, but I can see a player named as me in the competitive scenario, so I can clearly get a biased situation. Like, kind of, yeah, you should do great. You should do great. Please, play well. And now we see the damages here. Because in the recent official meta, the damages are those that matters, right? According to the contribution, only you are securing the eliminations for the team contributions, but you're getting the damages for how much good effort you're putting onto single game. There we see Tony not only passing Amar by, but also with the damages he crossed the player like 3,311, where Amar counts on 3,230, and somehow at some point you definitely see some players on top. According to the recent official meta, that they would be on top even with some lower elimination points. Like if it was Amar with even 18 eliminations and Tony with 20, but then Amar getting 3,500 of damages, or you might say like 3,600 of damages, then he would be on top on this top players list. Now there is a competition, and that gets divided like in 2 ways. One is the you're playing for the championship title, for the runner-up titles on the overall leaderboard, competing with your own team gameplay, and the other one is you're securing the MVP title for your own. It doesn't matter that which team you're sharing onto the competition, right? So Tony did a great job after the 6 games we've seen so far. Now Now we see overall standings. There is the change. Now it is Team Donkeys on top with just only 2 points of lead, but Team Execute still maintaining the second position and just sharing the little bit of a gap, and that can be settled with just one battle.
That has changed a lot. I mean, DK there leading. That is a very big jump. But then for Morvix, they're lucky they're still in the third place. For 3 Cons getting fourth place at 48. That is really good improvement coming from there. And Future also coming in a little bit high, 5, getting to the 5th place there with 44 points. That is a lot, probably will be increasing as the games proceed. Neo Rising coming in 7 with 36, 8 we have Tribearers 32, 9 we have Nov with 31, 10 Rage 31, Tiny the XTC 31 points each. We have PST 25 points, More Esports 24, ZE 21, Temper at 15th place getting 15 points. We have FD with 9, 17 we have PNX 8, and then 18 we have North Esports there getting 5. I mean the table has changed drastically just by one game, so I can imagine what will be happening in the next 2 games. But of course we'll be knowing how that goes in a few, because for now we'll be going to look into the third game in a few, and that will be Sanhok. And of course, the last game will be Erangel. So we'll be seeing how that plays out for the teams. And it has been a really interesting second game. But for now, me and QRK will be giving you guys some time to get some water, and then we'll be back after the break.
Cybertron's future is near. Autobots, roll out! This planet reeks of weakness. Your courage reignites my spark. We'll crowd a new load of Cybertron. Roll for freedom. A victory for all sentient beings.
Come check out WoW version 3.9 during this blistering summer. But watch out so you don't get blasted by ink. The new Ink Blaster fires ink in multiple different colors. Like other firearms, it deals damage, but it also splatters anything.
And
gentlemen.
we're back. Let's go.
Yeah, the match is about to start, and we're back to the custard desk with Mitch Gaming Yeah, I should pronounce it good, respected. And me, Quick York, with you sharing the competition to you guys. And now you've seen the changes on the overall leaderboard, how Team Donkeys shuffled today, and now Team Execute becoming the second competitor. And now, but the Morvix is still in the position as the second game. As for the second game, they didn't do that well, just being eliminated at the start. And they might want to learn from that game, like you should be avoiding the drop clash battles and also the earlier battles. Now, let's see what happens next on the Sanhok game, because the Sanhok games is a bit of shorter map according to the other map like Erangel or Miramar. And now the flight rate doesn't matter that much according to the teams to gliding onto the drop locations, but it matters somehow because from the point where the flight path actually starts, uh, the teams who has the drop location at first gets on the position and takes the weapon in hand at first, and now they has the advantage according to taking the weapons in hand. But that's all you can say about the flight path according to the Sanhok. But the zone sometimes gets on the camp alpha on the boot camp, and it's indeed on the camp alpha and with the boot camp, but completely supporting the northern. And I hope Hartin becomes the center part, but there we might see some dropless battles on the Paradise Resort and also on the Rinse location. I see Paradise become hotter right now.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about Sanhok, it's that
Mhm.
one map that I usually expect the fight will be starting from the time the players set their foot on the ground. That is when everything starts working. No one wants to breathe. No one wants to take their time. So as you can see, a very good example is
Mm-hmm.
Paradise Resort. Everyone has
Yeah.
just landed, and the next thing they want to do is fight. No one wants to analyze the situation. Let's get that loot happening, and then now we can finally start engaging. No, that is not the case. Everyone just wants to be there and take on that fight, and that's totally okay. If it works for you and you're capable of engaging in that fight, then totally go ahead and do so. But then, so far here in Paradise Resort, we have Phoenix Esports, and they have tribe warriors surrounding them here. They are making their rotations around Paradise Resort. You can see at least two players on the high ground waiting for a weakness to be spotted from the Phoenix team. And then once they get that knock, then probably will be getting a push. But then it's not the case because it seems like Phoenix is having the upper hand right now. Okay, for both teams, they have both having one of their players is down, but that is really good seeing that Phoenix is able to get at least a knock. Two actually on Tribe Warriors that will be giving them the go ahead to go in for that push, but they seem to be holding that thought. They're not ready to go in for that push yet. They need to get the revive on their knock teammate. They need to focus on the players from Tribe Warriors, surrounding them on every single angle. But we'll be seeing if that will be something they're looking to do. The push is finally happening there. Hader, getting that pre-fires with the DBS and is waiting for someone from Phoenix to make a mistake, and maybe that fast knock will be what they need. He does try to get the spray again, does get the pre-fire, the DBS, then he goes in and he is surrounded by the Phoenix. And for the Tribe Warriors, they will be going back to lobby. Really unfortunate the game just began.
Yeah, I was watching for the player to make the flank on that door, and for the reason the
Mm.
player had to push inside so that he can dodge the damages from the outside, and he had no options left for that moment. But if you'd go for the first knock on the door side, then that might come with some good opportunities. But now I see Demonic getting two knockouts with a grenade here from the Mao Esports, now looking for the third player to get taken down. The Demonic has some good position on the side, being talking about, like he can dodge some of the shots with the tree he's having. But Tony gets the job done perfectly. Now the Mao Esports would lose in the moment because just being in too hurry for now to get the support, and that's where they misunderstood or misjudged the positions of Team Donkeys. But for now, Team Donkeys should try to go for the eliminations at first, so that Timoy Sports would have no chance to get the rescue done. But now it's Timoy
Mhm.
Sports, Kelvin, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. So now what he does, he tries to make the encounter, but he doesn't have any scope, so he goes with the iron side. But there I see Vortex 2 not being able to get close to the player to make the rescue. But he just executed a player like named as Kelvin to get the rescue done. But on the kill feed, I see Future Sports fighting with Team Tampa, where Team Tampa has taken the first point, and then Future encountering Team Tampa, and doing the same for Team Tampa, like losing out the point,
Mhm.
losing out the players, and that makes them kind of weak and same to same according to the Team Future Esports. But Mafioso couldn't be able to fall back, where he would be taken down by Team Tampa again, and that is six guard taking the next flank. But six guard is not in the good position for now, as he loses some HPs, and there's his shoe spotting the player, taking the player down with the shotgun, and now securing the knock so that he might not reveal any positions for the team. And then Team Tampa finds a good spot. It's in the compound where he does not wants to go for the rescue or what, because he doesn't have that much time left. So still, I see that the rescue might be happening here, as Captain got some momentum to make the rescue. The first zone
Mhm.
touches them, what Team Future Sports goes with the same option, but Future knows that they might not have some moments here. So before Team Tampa gets rescued, they should charge in, and now Jaeger gets close, gets the grenade, but not getting the knock. So now I understood that the rescue might be completed till now, right? So Team Tampa understood the moment, and they're just going in for the defensive situation, but the grenade was so accurate from Team Jaeger up, not team but the player Jaeger up, and Captain loses lots of HPs. There comes the Molotov. You do not have much more time left. The Molotov gets caught, and the Captain okay, just compromising himself outside the compound. He got no options left.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was not possible to be in that compound while an opponent is just charging the leaders, right? So yeah, he goes with the best option, but it was not a happy moment to get outside. He just watched out three players waiting for him to get outside, and he was like, "Oh man, I got caught up."
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. He just went outside and he was just okay, fine. It's time. He didn't even fight it. He didn't argue. He just surrendered. And I mean, it's totally okay. He was already cooking and he just let the deal be done. So that is really unfortunate for him. But then there's always the
Mhm.
next time. There's one more game to be played and he can relax and figure out the next steps for his team. But then so
Mm.
far the zone is finally closing in. We are going towards the northwestern side there of the zone. Most other teams are going to be making their rotations. You can see some are not even in the zone yet. For Zodiac Esports, they need to start moving before the zone becomes a little bit more damaging, because now they will be starting to lose the players in the blue zone, something most of the teams are not really comfortable with, so they should not be the ones losing their teammates as well. But for now, teams have been eliminated. At least we have lost four, I can say too early, seeing that we're in
Mhm.
the second stage of the zone, having to lose all, I believe, the three teams. That is too early for them to go back to the lobby, but I hope there will be 11 3 2 teams, sorry, they will be on the losing side. Some of them have lost some points. I hope they will be thinking their way around it, how they will be getting to recover those points. But then so far, Zodiac Esports there can't spot a team, and that is Three Crowns Esports. Amazing reflex, and that means the player will be taken back to lobby. I mean, you almost took one of us down, so we'll be taking you as well, because you almost made us become a little bit crippled in this fight. But for now, Zodiac Esports, they will be waiting for that chance, since the only one man in standards, Phoenix, has been spotted and he's trying to retreat and go away from this fight. But then Three Crowns Esports, they will not let anyone avoid their fight. They will be chasing you all the way back to lobby, and we might just be seeing that happen. The sprays don't really connect, but then the player is really on a fix here. He needs to find a
Oh.
way. But then Three Crowns Esports has said that is not going to be happening for today. You need to relax, because we need all the elimination points that we can get in this game. But then so far, teams are now finally warming up to the game. It took them 2 games to become a little bit comfortable, but we love to see it. And now they are all of them going in for those fights. I mean, Wild, a team you mentioned, I am interested to see how they're going to be taking on Sanhok. For most teams, the Sanhok is quite a comfortable map for them. They're really familiar with it. They know the compounds, the hole is not that big. You can easily master Sanhok and then come and engage in that fight. So I'm really interested to see how that will be happening.
Mhm.
But then Rage Esports is somehow taking on Three Crowns Esports. Two of their players, Merrick, has been taken back to lobby together at Quila, leaving only 2 players standing from Three Crowns Esports. Very strong players as well. So they might be looking for that chicken scene. That also Rage Esports has only one person in lobby, that is Meliod. And so the 3 remaining players might be the ones forced to do a good job.
Yeah, they might be forcing onto that, but I see the teams getting eliminated not being so happy, but they should relax as in the point of view they have one more games left for this day, especially in the terms of a 3 days of a tournament, you only have 2 days for the shuffles and the final day becomes the most demanding day to compete for the championship title. Now you only have one more match left, those for the teams those who got eliminated earlier. Now I see the teams like 1011 XTCs waiting for the next opportunity to guard on some teams as they do know the zone is completely supporting the north and now the zone is about to get a new shift. It might shift on the eastern side, but it should be on the
Mm,
western side. But I hope it's getting on the eastern side because the zone is getting in a shuffled,
mm,
like in a hard shifted way. So the teams gets the new rotations every time. But now the situation says she got Team Three Crowns on the center and Team Rage Sports on the down on the southern part. So there they can get some good visuals, but according to the visuals, Team Donkeys might have some good visuals because they are maintaining the high location for now as on the heel point. So they can look forward for the ground locations where the players can be off. But Team Persecutors or Team Phoenix Esports, yes, it is indeed Team Phoenix Esports getting the first four eliminations done without taking any casualties for the players and all of the players are surviving. Meanwhile, Team Morvix Sports too, but somehow Pasta loses some HPs, and they're analyzing the moment, like from where these sprays were happening. So they're gonna look out for that. But for Team Wild, it's been such a dangerous moment because the path they're passing on to there is Team Three Crown Sports. If they look out for that, there might be some good sprays. But to
mhm,
rescue or to get survived from those sprays or twist knocks, the player changed the seats as soon as possible. Then to make thesis came up with the pressure because there are lots of teams on this very third stage. Everyone understood from the start of the game, like where the zone can be supported. So they're moving in for the Camp Alpha Island, and now they know that there will be opponents waiting for you to get in, and that's when Team XTC's got the opportunities to deal with Team Wild Sports. But Team Wild would somehow get the option to rescue the players as Team XTC's were not so close, but Team XTC's might expect a new team getting close to them, and that might be a new start for a new battle. Yes, XTC's got engaged with Team Future this time, and XTC's has the upper hand,
mhm,
and in Future encounters it with a perfect blow with a shotgun and then secret knock with the info 16. But Amar is in problem. Spray got him, and that's a new team like Team Fake Dreamers, like not getting one but two eliminations for Team Fake Dreams this time, being inside on the third stage, and then it's Team
mhm.
1011 XTCs securing the safe spot inside the compound.
Yeah, I mean, the where Amar was there, he was really far away from his teammates and quite exposed to fake dreams, and that is how they got that knock easily and helped Future to at least get some movement happening for their team. The zone will be moving soon, and if that high ground is no longer safe, then for the team that is Future, they will be having a lot of movements to be looking to doing. But we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case. But then so far so good. 12 teams still remaining in the game. We are in the third stage of the zone, and of course, most of the teams are looking now to get their chicken dinner or maybe enough placement points. But as of now, 12 teams still remain in the placement points. If you go back to lobby, will not be counting another team. Their future is being spotted by the donkeys, and they might be choosing to engage. If he does, Leo will be crippling the players from future, getting some casualties on their side, and they'll be forced to do either some reviving or just let go of their teammate and go on with their rotations. But the zone is about to close in. I hope it will be a very interesting zone because most of the teams are comfortably in the zone, and every single team right now has to go towards the players from Rage, Wild, and XTC so that they can survive. Three Crowns Esports barely been in the safe zone now are safe, and they will be holding that compound before the players from Mo Esports, the Donkeys, Future try to make their rotation, but then it seems like Wild here taking on Rage Esports Lazy is going to go in for that revive for his teammate. Pew Pew will be forced to get the cover on their teammates. Wild Esports getting third partied by 1011 XTC. That will be giving them some pressure. They need to be really, really careful. Otherwise, the third parties here will be having the best time of their life if the players are not on a lot, and the team like
Mhm.
XTC is going to be third partying from every single angle, giving them at least some go ahead. Because honestly, the position for XTC where they are right now, they should be higher than that. Knowing XTC and their skill set, they should be at a very high, well, ranking in
Mhm.
this Battle of Titans.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the battle of titans, so you should not take the risks for now. As Team Morvix comes up with the tabletoppers again, not the tabletoppers, but the second competitors next to the Team Morvix gets the first lead done, and then Team Execute finds out about Rage. Now he would be taken down two by Javir, and that was such a pretty good headshot. Then Pasta comes up with support and taking down Javir again, and there goes Morvix Esports getting the support again by Pain. But the teams are just responding to each other, and at the same time now Shakid would finish Pasta. There goes Pasta losing the opportunity for being rescued again, and then Team Persecutors losing out the three players by Team Donkeys. Donkeys made a huge job here by weakening Team Persecutors, and then that leads Ravage just being in solo and trying to fall back instead of a compound where he has the edge of the next fourth stage so that he can survive for at least 2 of the minutes. But now you see Team Morvix Sports facing the difficulties to get inside in the next atmosphere. Now they need, what they need is actually to pass down the bridge, but the next teams standing to right next to them would not let that happen. As you see Team Execute also holding down on the corner side, on the gate side of the bridge, so that they can keep the squad. Even at the same time, they have seen Team Fake Dreams too, holding for them, waiting for them on the kill feed. We see Team Three Crowns fighting with Team Donkeys again, and Team Wild Sports interrupting with Team Donkeys, and that leads Team Donkeys losing Dybala. And now see, four
Wow.
charges the grenade. He get taken down, but the grenade did its job perfectly. And now Team Donkeys was
Mhm.
surely trying to recalibrate themselves so they can risk at the same time and they can actually encounter at the same time. But the next zone says that zone is so close to them, but before you actually start heading for the zone, you need to deal the battle at first. And Three Crown Sports is just hoping to get the advantage for now as the player moves inside of the compound and hopes for a new third party to be happening with Team DKs, but not happening for Team DKs for now, as this is such a good moment for Team DKs to rescue the players. I shouldn't Three Crown Sports thinking about that the player should be rescued right now. So I should, just change the compound, because as soon as they get rescued, they just search for me.
Oh,
But then the
wow.
other players search for the player, and then Vortex secures the knock, and that leads to True Sports being GG on this moment. Not Team Persecutors and no more Team True Sports and no more. We lost two teams, but now we have all 10 teams fighting with each other on the 8th side, where Team Execute faces all the problems, like they're losing the players right now, and that's not should be it. There has 8 eliminations, and now only one of the players is left, but they have, and there's two Team Morvix to be in trouble, and now Team Morvix has no option left but to jump out from the bridge so that they can survive. But Langshi, I guess, finds a moment, but that was so close the first skin pop-ins, but it is not enough time. And then you see Insane just moving in an open area without having any such covers, but looking forward for to make TC's Traitor, but Traitor would surely see the player, I hope, but no, that's not happening. Team Future also fighting with Team Fake Dreamers, while Team Wild Sports interrupting with them. Now Team Wild Sports shares the southern part, where the northern becomes the hunter point for Team Future Sports as they're on the top of the mountain. But then you see another situation after the next zone shifting on the northern eastern corner, where Team Mall Esports fighting with Team DKs, and there goes Team DKs being in an advantage with the two of the players, but can it happen? Not. Oh yeah, more Vortex gets one knock but gets instantly
Mm.
backstabbed by Team Wild from the compound.
Yeah, I mean, while E's having a really good time here, they are third party in the fights. They are getting the knocks, they are getting the thirst, and 6 eliminations to their name is not that bad. Finally, they will be getting some points on their name. But then looking at the Donkeys, they have lost all their players apart from Leo, one man standing. Most of the teams have the numbers, but then look at XEXE as well. Shakid just but a solo, snaking it out, knowing Shakid that might work out for him. He is a very patient player and he can wait it out till all the teams have finished their fight. Then maybe Shakid will be enjoying the part of the fight. But then looking at XTC right now, they have Future, the reigning champions of the previous game, going in for that push already. One of their teams that is wild, they did go in for that push and they have been taken out easy by the players from Future and XTC as well. Third part in the fight, then now Crusader, he'll be looking to go in for that push. Knocks happening every single angle, and Nadia does connect, and Crusader is down. XTC players now feeling the heat right now. Shakid finally says it's time time for me to third party, trying to cook up the nades there, but then there's nobody holding that tower. He is a safe for now. Prime, not even Prime, sorry, Phoenix Insane is waiting and is going to be waiting for a chance to third party. The Donkeys, unfortunately, last player Leo has been eliminated, and for XTC as well, they do face the same fate, and they have been taken back to lobby, leaving just 4 teams remaining. And we still have the solos Pew Pew snaking outside the building here, Shakid snaking outside the same compound, and Pew Pew will be snaking towards them. Phoenix and getting the knocks and the fast. I mean, we have purely solos remaining, but then they
Mhm.
are the ones somehow dominating against the teams or that has the numbers that is Future. They might be looking to get another chicken dinner. Somehow Future is more composed as the games progress. They are getting the numbers, they are getting the chicken, and they're getting the elimination points counting. Pew Pew spotting a player, does try to get the damage, but then the UMP is failing him there. He doesn't really get that much damage on the player from Phoenix, and Shakid closing in the margin as well. 4 players remaining, 4 teams remaining. Every single solo right now is carrying the team's basically victory on their shoulders, and all they need to be is composed. Remember, Pew Pew is a composed player, but then how composed is he against 4 different solos being around him? This might just be one of the hardest battles to go against, because one small mistake, one grenade, one molly, and you'll be going back slowly. So we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case. But then for Pew Pew, holding the compound, waiting patiently, Shakid quite damaged. Future
Uh-oh.
Botani getting Shakid, and now this is where everything changes. All the solos now are feeling the heat. Botani trying to cook up a nade. We have seen these players in the MVP list. We have seen Botani. We have seen QP in the top players list. But then who'll be getting the chicken? The zone takes out
Oh.
Botani, and now 2 players remain standing. Insane trying to cook up a nade, cancels the nade there, goes in for that push, and Pew Pew. Unfortunately, this time Phoenix player is just a little bit better with the S12K, and his DBS kill. Will be waiting for the next game. But then so far, winner chicken dinner for Phoenix Esports.
Absolutely. Such a gorgeous piece of a chicken dinner that gets them on the 14th place, but with 24 points. That is such amazing to see. Like 6 eliminations with the chicken dinner gets them those 16 points. And that is all. It was just all players of their own, 4 players with the solo teammates. And then, that got the moment. Like Botany tried so hard. The moment when he tried to charge the grenade, he was not been able to charge it because of the players from the side of Phoenix. I saw Rage Pew Pew on the moment, like being shot in BDVs, so the player won't be able to charge the grenade. That was the moment when the game was starting to be changed, and then the final moment was so cool because the both of the players were just executing from the compounds, like, hey, come, let's do the 1v1. We should not hold here. And then both of them
Exactly.
just faced each other with the shotguns. They had the confidence with them, like having the shotgun in hand, and S12K played it so good. Now the chicken dinner stats that says as the team is having 6 kills, where Insane did all the job for the team, like contributing 4 kills for the team with the damage of 626, and then Newells getting the 184 damages, where Lucifer done also 142. Okay, that was 184, and this is 142, so both does the same. According to the game, the zone was not so comfortable for the teams. Yeah, the teams are not comfortable with the zone, you might say that in a shuffled way, but I see team Rage Esports, that Pew Pew did so well at this moment. And then Phoenix Esports did it great by eliminating 1 player and taking the charge of that compound, and then holding onto the compound for the rest of the players, or for the rest of the teams, so that they can fight with each other. And the final player gets awaited, and then he would take the final player according to his plan. And somehow the patience worked very well. It didn't compromise him, and that did all here. Now the match summary that also says, like, it's always balancing. The game gets balanced again and again. Every time, every map, we witness the eliminations were just in between 60 to 70. But I didn't see 70 eliminations there, but I saw total of 66 or 67 eliminations in the highest, but there I see the 71 knockouts and no vehicle eliminations further. But on Sanhok you see the healings. On the previous meta, like on the old metas, there were some heal battles on the Sanhok games especially, right? People would have the
Yeah.
second alternate option for the heal battles so that they can have the placement points. But now you see the healings, the uses of the healings are so low according to the other maps. There was 10,000 of the healings of users, and now it's the 6,221. And then I see grenade eliminations too. It's a bit of low, but yeah, the teams is not having the options for the grenades because the battles are happening so fast and they needed to respond as quick as they can so that they has the upper hand. Everyone needs the upper hand in terms of a head-on-head battle. And now the head-on-head battle says Team Future Esports with Team Phoenix Esports says, but Team Future did a great job here with 16 eliminations. That is dope.
Yeah, I mean, Future Esports, they're getting 2,510 damage with Phoenix 974 damage. I mean, when you look at the eliminations for Future, 16 and Phoenix getting 6. For Future, it seems like they were ready to really dominate this game. They were ready to survive. They were ready to get that chicken dinner and make sure that they are the ones leading again. I mean, getting a chicken dinner back to back is not easy in competitions, but then Future Esports somehow has decided that in the Battle of Titans, we will be giving you guys amazing chicken dinners. They have been taking their time, by the way. So not back to back. What am I saying? Getting back to back is not easy. Sorry. And Future Esports was really focused on that, but Phoenix came in. They said it is time to really get that happening, and they wanted to show that we can also get a chicken. Getting a back-to-back is not easy, but we have the MVP being Future Ronaldo, giving us 6 eliminations, a damage of 875, 4 assists, survival time of 19 minutes 25 seconds, 4 knocks there, and a healing of 279. Amazing play from Future, but sometimes the tables just turn and it doesn't really go as planned. Sometimes you just want to be able to get that chicken, but then one thing, the zone is what is standing in the middle of you and your chicken, because Future, they did fumble that chicken at a very, very, very small margin.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to talk about huge, like Ronaldo's signature move. I've not seen it anywhere. Like it's just you're just using your own palms, like own hands for the signature. That's literally great. Something unique, I should say. Yeah, and I love the signature too from the side because you cannot really see the face, but you can see his eyes. And those are like, hey, I'm gonna be the next opponent for you, so be careful and be prepared because I'm not gonna be low on you. I'm never gonna show mercy on you. And that deals with some. We see some professional players from the football or the cricket, right? Like how they actually pose in front of the camera, like being so confident. And that's where this also works, like getting connected. Look at the players, like they're so confident. All of the players looking so confident according to their own skills. Now I see Future Jigger getting 5 with 1,007 damages. Then I see Hunko XVV and getting the 736 damages in total with 4 contributions. Then I see Insane from Team Phoenix getting the 626 damages, and then PPU getting the 629 damages in total, but with 3 eliminations, 3 points for the contribution for their own. But we'd like to look about for the consistency and the overall leaderboard on the movie list, and also on the overall leaderboard where the match ranking says that how much points the team have been able to collect from this game. Team Future being so consistent, we've seen them getting the Erangel chicken dinner previously, just the previous game, and now it's Team Future Esports again taking the Sanhok chicken dinner. So they have analyzed well on the game, like they know when the battle really starts, when the chaos really starts, where the opponent gets eliminated as soon as the zone gets a new shift. So they were with some good plans, like holding onto the compounds, holding onto the higher hills, and taking the edgy teams and taking their positions, and then looking for the next angles for the next teams. And that 21 points with 16 eliminations did very well. Then Phoenix also did well with 16 points. Those points from the chicken dinner gets them all, and then the maximum, not all, but then it's Team Rage Esports getting 12. Team Execute also maintaining these points, like 12 points. every time I represent a competitive lobby, I do say like 12 points for the championship title, 10 points for the runner-ups, and 8 minimum points for to be in the competition, to be beside of the competitive team that you want to compete with the points. And there goes Team Execute doing it exactly what needed. And now I see Team Donkeys taking 10. So here goes the top five teams getting the double-digit numbers. Now there are lots of teams who's not been able to take any points, and that was such a bad luck for them. According to the zone, that was completely separating the Camp of Violent, Team Zodiac Sports, Team Ninrajing, Team Cry Warriors, Team Persecutors, and some two or teams not being able to take any points. But those teams who has taken some points might be in a relaxing moment, like, hey, we got one more matches left, and we can surely cover up that. But look at Tony making the consistency, but the damage is also same from the side of Amar. But it's all about the elimination points that Tony has got here, like 6 plus according to Amar.
Yeah, I mean, for Tony, he has just decided he's not going to be moving from that spot. He will be showing Amar some challenge here, but then Pew Pew finally goes up the leaderboard and makes it to the third place there with 14. Payne having 17, at least one elimination added to his total, and then Hancho there coming fifth with 14. But for Tony there, he seems to be really focused on staying there for quite a while, with Amar just right behind him. Depending on how XTC performs in the next games, then maybe we will be seeing more of Amar there in the leaderboard for the top players. But we have the overall ranking, and now Team Execute finally goes back to the first place position and then ties with the Donkeys at 75 points. It's Future Esports as well closing that margin, comes in with 65 points at third place. Fourth, we have more with Morvex Esports with 57. Fifth, we have Three Crowns 53. Sixth, we have Wild with 45. Rage Esports coming there, finally moving from the 10th, 11th spot with XTC, and coming finally to the 7th and 8th position with 43 and 38 points each. Neon getting 36. 10th place, you have Tribe Warriors with 32 there. Nova having 31 points. 12, you have PSU 25. Tiny More Esports. Phoenix getting 24. ZE getting 21. Temper 16. FD 11, and then in 18th place North Esports having 5 points. I mean, the table is finally turning, and some teams are not having an easy time, some are having an easy time, but for the rest they're finding it a little bit hard to catch up. For Temper, it is quite an improvement since that they have only played the 3 games and being able to get maybe to position 16. That's not that bad, but if they continue trying, then maybe they have some chance of maybe moving a little bit higher. But making it to the first position 1 to 9 might be a little bit tricky for Temper, but we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case in the next few games, well, the last game.
Yeah, absolutely. We do only have one more game left, and that is going to be onto the Erangel, the OG map. You know, the first Erangel comes with the trailer, and the second Erangel comes with the full picture, as we got the one map as in a 2-time, right? But on the first day, the game started with Sanhok, and then it came onto the Miramar, then it came onto the Erangel. No, then it came onto the Erangel, then it came onto the Miramar, then it came onto the Erangel. And now today the match was started from the Miramar side, and then it come onto the Erangel, and then you got the Sanhok. And this somehow drastically changes the overall competition somehow, because the Sanhok map comes with lots of casualties. Now it's time for us to take a little bit of break. I'm with Mitch Gaming and me, Quickie Arc, with you guys, enjoying the gameplay. You can show some love in the comment section if you are enjoying the competition, as we're trying our level best to get you comfortable. Now let's be right back with the last game for this night that settles the score on the overall leaderboard and the point that the team will be competing for the final day for the championship title. Stay tuned. That was easy.
Yes, thank you for having my back there. And
Mm-hmm.
I just came and you were talking about the donkeys and team execute, and I can see, like you said, they have the donkeys. Sorry, have already have two extra points to their name, and that means at least they're leading there. So for team execute, I believe they will be forced to close that margin. Unfortunately, Rage Esports there has already been eliminated. That means the table there will be changing as well for XTC and every other team that is beneath Rage Esports. That will be changing for them for now. But I can see Phoenix Esports. They have a team right next to them, and that is Zodiac Esports. And we'll be waiting to see how this fight does unfold, which team will be able to finish this fight without losing their players, or if they lose some, hopefully they do win that fight. But for Zodiac Esports, we will be going away from this fight. But what really happened there? Is it Future that took out Rage Esports in that they have four eliminations to their name?
Yeah, I just got a good confirmation that all the things I was talking about that was not going on the stream. Such a bad luck,
Oh!
but okay, okay, I'm back again right now. So yeah, we have seen Team Rage and Team Nobby Sports being eliminated. Now we see the top six teams competing on the leaderboard, and now we see Team Tampa also fighting with Team Future Sports. This is the moment with Team Future are not losing their future but securing their future by making or pushing Team Tampa to lose the temper. And that's all Team Tampa has losing the temper for now. As I was just joking, because for the entertainment purposes I definitely understand that, because I do that for a lot. Now we see the zone. At first I was talking about the zone, ma'am, because I do scare the military base kind of a zone, because there gets the trouble for the maximum teams like to pass on the bridges, ferry bridges and over the bridges, and some takes the water paths too. But still the zone is holding onto the military base, and that gets me nervous for now, that how the team should pass on and get on the military base. But there we see some chaotic situations heading on for the mail location and on to the middle of Quarry and Pochinki, or in a sort of like Gatka and Pochinki. There we see Team Zedis fighting with the team. I guess Team Zed is losing the players, but they need to do some things as soon as possible before their angles gets broken.
Yeah, I mean, if they do not get the right positioning for this game, then maybe things will be changing. Unfortunately, the humor you were sharing on the live was not there, so I hope it was funny enough for you. But it's fine. These things happen, and it's totally okay. But when you look at the rotations that the teams are planning to make right now, every single move they make will be dependent. It is the last game of the night for day two in the finale, and they go into the last day tomorrow. But then Phoenix Esports finally decides taking that fight for Zodiac, and one of the players is finally done. And of course, they will be making sure that player is taken back to lobby. One man remains standing, and that is Midas, who immediately is trying to make the rotations here to make it work. But I hope that rotation will be giving him the win in this fight. Beautiful damage there. You see just the S12K tries to get the damage, and that's get the first knock there. Of course, he'll be taking Phoenix Esports player back to lobby, S12K in hand. He is feeling confident now. He got the first knock there, and he knows if I do this right, I might just be able to get myself an amazing clutch there. The nade is well cooked. That is get some damage. It doesn't, but then the players are getting pre-fires on him there. He's quite low, and he does get a second knock. But then, unfortunately, my friend here from Zodiac is just but a solo, and he will be going back to lobby. Really unfortunate there. He had the chance of getting the wipe if he had teammates, but I mean, sometimes there is power in numbers.
That's quite practical. And we saw that the player being in the trouble, like, hoping or praying for some support, but there was no player for the support for that moment. Now it's Team XTCs fighting with a team and then losing the players named as Traitor by Team Persecutors, with Team Future Esports fighting with Team Morvix. Now Team Future is taken out. All their competitors, like beneath them, it's Team Morvix losing out the players, and now Team Morvix versus Team Future Esports. This is going to be so interesting because the table toppers are just competing in between them, and this is just the early battle. So if one team gets eliminated, the team completely loses the chance to get back on the lead again. And this is just the last day for the shuffles, the final day tomorrow. tomorrow will be the judgmental day where the team would definitely secure the championship title, and no chances for the mistakes, no rooms for the mistakes. Now Team Morvex has taken the revenge again, and Team Future loses one. There we see some battles happening on the feed where Team Tribe Warriors losing out two of the players by Team Fake Dreamers. And yeah, it's just the final player named as Sting who just needs the clutch for now, as if you would want to go for the rescue, but Sting needs the position to be switched, and now he has the shotgun in hand. But there has been a good flank from the side of the Fake Dreamers, and the flank got some damages for Sting. Still Sting switched the position again and understood the player might come up instantly, to understand that he'd fall back from the location and change his position. And then Cat came close and secured the kill, and that's how Team Fake or Fake Dreams, yeah, eliminated the team. I said in Future Sports still been engaging with the battle, but while they spotted the team Three Crowns and Sue Ronaldo from Future is just about to take down the player by single shots, but here Pasta charged the grenade, and that gets the momentum for Team Morvex. Now what would they decide? That is all that matters.
Yeah, I mean the grenades there are getting the damage. One player being down, amazing knock there from More Rage, and that of course will be giving them the momentum they need to go in for that push for Ronaldo. They're trying to get the revive on Botani, the MVP from Future. They have been dominating so far. Another chicken would have been the best thing for Future Esports, but then right now the players are not really having it anymore, and the push is finally happening there. Misses the shots there with the S8 shotgun, the pump shotgun, and of course they'll be trying to go in for that
Oh,
push again, and Movex Esports does get to wipe out the players from Future Esports. I mean, for Future, they had the chances of going away from this fight. They had the team, they had Movex closing in, they had every single chance of going away from this fight, but they somehow chose to engage in that fight. XTC, on the other hand, here loses three of their players. Amar is disconnected. They are disadvantaged. That because that being when Amar is disconnected, I mean, he might come back and the game might decide he can no longer play. And that will be it for XTC, but we'll be seeing if that's going to be the case or not. But then for
oh.
now, the zone does close in, and our teams will be forced to cross that bridge. And you can see what North is doing there. They are waiting on the teams as they try to make their rotations. But then, luckily, on Novo's bridge, we have no one on that eastern side, so no one will be stopping any team. Future Fake Dreams are making their rotations. None will stop them. They are safe there for quite a while because every single team right now is going towards the western bridge, that is around military base.
Yeah, but sometimes the team like predict earlier, like there should be the teams on the bridge side, so we should say we should make it safe.
Hmm.
But thinking that longer, sometimes it becomes really really late, and there a new team comes forward too. And after they stream, like after the competition ends, when they're about to witness from the stream, like what really happened, like to analyze the game from the map side, they really would like be in some kind of fishy moment, like they think, okay, why didn't we pass the bridge earlier? That kind of affections actually happens with the decisions they're making into. But now we see Timao Esports while watching it for the bridge. Yes, this is going to be a good moment, but I'm not giving any visuals for the Timao Esports while Atrox trying to find out where Rambo is. But he found out about a player, right? And also Kelvin going with some of the grenades, but the grenade is not dealing the damages this time. But I hope this grenade will do the job. But no, Rambo is not inside of that location, but he's on the outside. But he loses lots of HPs, and then the confirmation comes here where Kelvin understood the player is in such low HP and only one grenade might get him in trouble, and then he did this too. But then he found out about the players using the buggies to fall back, also to not sports being so clever that the player is actually taking such a good angle to encounter with the Maui sports, even if they try to finish the player. But the support should be accurate and on time, but no chances should come further for Rambo to get rescued as Kelvin would secure the kill. But the bridge battle still going on, and Timoi Sports slowly thinking how to pass on the bridge. Now they cannot clearly pass this bridge while team not maintaining this angle and guarding this bridge, but they can surely
Hmm.
go for us on an alternate path, like you can choose the water path to come in. Also you
Yeah.
can choose the sky path to come in, but sky path is really going to be dangerous because you can clearly trace out that vehicle
Yeah.
or the
Easily.
plane easily. Yeah, because
Hmm.
that doesn't has the speed to actually pass in quick. So on the water sides, the player also chooses to blast out the boat. That also happens, but there is a new vehicle implemented on this competitive scenario, right? The vehicle which actually can move onto the water side, also can move onto the what side, onto the ground side. And then also, if you just be in the vehicle, you cannot get traced out. Even just without the vehicle getting blasted, you cannot be knocked out, right? So the vehicle can be such an advantageous vehicle for the teams to move in this kind of situations. But for nothing, Morvix Esports has got really good responsibilities, where I saw Pasta taking down one player, finish that player, but also taking down the second player next to him. And then team persecutors going in with the finishes, so that the Morvex can find no chances to get back or recalibrate again.
Yeah, I mean, for the players of the prosecutors, they're really having a good time. I think this is the first time I'm seeing their fight clearly. I did not see that initially, but then Cobra does get spotted there by Aatrox. I mean, he was really impressing me how he decided to stay there and wait for the teams to make their rotations across the bridge and then maybe get some knocks there. But then they're getting a little bit distracted here, and we have more esports player Aatrox getting the knocks, being able to revive his teammates. They might be able to cross this bridge without losing any of their teammates, because now they can get the revives and still engage in that fight. Team player that is from North, that is Smash, trying to get the damage, but then the rotation has finally taken place. More esports player is still down. They might be forced to get that revive before the players with Team Not decide to get the tasks happening on the knocked players. But then more esports will be getting rotation finally working, and
Wow.
Smash there with an amazing flank is able to get a knock on more esports, and now they will be going in for that push. Aatrox getting knocked as well, and Smash is finally dominating. We might just be seeing another clutch here. We have seen a couple of solos doing it here in the Battle of Titans, and it seems like Smash will be looking to do it again. One man standing from Mo Esports will be going in for that push. Beautiful
Ooh.
pre-fire, and just like that, Smash is able to take out the whole team, Mo Esports, by himself. Amazing play there from not player Smash. I mean, in the Battle of Titans, we are now finally seeing that players are getting the gist of the game. They are getting comfortable, and they're able to relax and get composure and get the wipe easily. I mean, Smash was amazing. That AKM, the movement, the rotations, every single move he made was calculated and precise, giving him an amazing wipe on Mo Esports.
Absolutely, absolutely. That flank was top notch, and the second knock with the DKM was really good. And just taking the decision to get close to the team and taking down the final player. Also, we can say that that player was so confident with the moment he was having onto that. But now we see Team Three Crown Sports also being in trouble, because some of the teams already moved on to the hillside or onto the seashore side, and then they can watch out for the players trying to cross down the path in between the zone and the outside of the zone. But yeah, you can clearly go for some kills, but I'd like to really hope for the team so that they can be in the ground again and they can fight back. But
Mhm.
it's not going on, because it is indeed the very fourth stage where you're losing your HP simultaneously and not being able to use the first aid kit now on. But somehow Team Trickery Sports, they made it happen. They made it happen. But 14 fake dreamers, it's in such low HP, and Cat will be taken down by the blue zone by taking lots of damages from the outside. Now you clearly see the zone. The zone is completely supporting the southern, where none of the teams are making it inside. Only from the southern we see Team Neon rising, and Team Morvix, two rages there surviving, and Team Persecutors also waiting for the gatekeep. But Team Trichrony Sports, they have crossed over this area successfully and eliminated Team Naughty Sports successfully, now taking the eliminations of Team Fake Dreamers successfully. And
Mhm.
Marik, yeah, I hope he'd finish the final play two of Team Fake Dreamers, but no, this time
Oh.
Team Fake Dreamers did well, and Blood handled the situation as quicker as he could.
I mean, Merrick there had a disadvantage. The zone was not his friend. The fake dreamers were watching him, and they spotted him. The moment he exposed his location, they were sure that there is someone behind him, and they waited for him to get closer. And then, just like that, they were able to take that elimination on the three crowns esports player, that is Merrick. And now Neo Rising We have a player that is from Team Execute, that is Shakid. This is the second time we are seeing Shakid snaking it out, being the only person remaining standing from Team Execute. That's what the player there from New Rising. He does get the knock, and I mean, that will be the go ahead for him to get the third happening before he is eliminated. He's just but a solo, so he has to be really careful. Neon Rising players getting closer as well. They're trying to cook up the nades there. That guy smoking up the place. Beautiful strategy here. You need to get your teammate revive. The nade there might be connecting, almost getting a knock on that guy, but then unfortunately that will not be the case in Shakid. He will be taking this chance as he's go ahead to get the rotation happening. He has disclosed his location, so he should start moving before the players from Neon Rising start engaging. We can hear the shots. They are trying to get the damage on him, but then he will be going away from this fight. Players are not ready to lose even a single team member yet. We can see Neon Rising final boss here sporting Shakid trying to get the damage, but then for Shakid there, he's kind of cooked. He's going towards another team. He spotted it
Oh,
just like that. EXE player Shakid, he will be going back to lobby. Phoenix Esports might be looking for another chicken dinner, seeing that they're still surviving. 5 teams in the game. We are in the 6th phase of the zone soon, and the 5th stage is about to close in, and the players will be forced to now make the rotations, and the players from Phoenix are lucky for now, but the other teams will be making their rotations. Fake Dreamers will be making their rotations, but then it seems like the Persecutors have been eliminated as well. 4 teams remaining. Wild, I believe that is the team you were vouching for. So I think in this last game, they might be showing us some very good improvements in their gameplay.
yeah, I'm hoping for a chicken dinner 14 fake dreamers. The dreams are getting taken. And now, if they can hope for the chicken dinner, that will be really good for the team as they do share the northern part. And now they do know that the teams are getting engaged as soon as possible. But before they get any gatekeeps, they really hope for the next move in. But they do know that the compound has been equipped with the team, and now they do need to take the edge, and the edge been taken by Team Wild. So that sets Team Wild being in too responsible to take out the south and the north at the same time, also watching for the mid western where Team Persecutors might share the position, but not Persecutors. That's Team Phoenix, my bad. Yes, and Team Phoenix, the only team who has the compound support, but I've seen a lot of push on this compound, and I know how to deal with this kind of meta. But I hope Team Phoenix Sports would do that well from that location. But now Team Wild Sports getting close to fake Dream and Cat. Some understood there's a player in front of who's using with grenades, and Cat also choosing like, hey, I also can do that. Okay, so here I go charging the grenade of mine, and the next grenade comes close to Cat, and Cat leaves the vehicle. That was such a good thing to do. But then Team Fake Dreamers like attracting all this praise towards Russia, and that gets the momentum for Blood and Cat to change their positions. But for now, Team Wild doesn't have much more time left, with Team Phoenix Esports interrupting with Team Fake Dreamers, and then taking the first player Cat, and now taking the second player Russia by Newells, and now is the only guy left, Blood, holding on for some cover from the back end. He just deals with the smokes, and from the front end he just waits or hopes for Team Wild to charge down some grenades, and the grenade goes to Team Fake Dreamers. That deals with lots of damages for Blood, but still Blood holds on here, and then going with the first it could pop in, but the next grenade would surely eliminate the player. And now we see the top teams surviving in this very 7th stage with just 40 seconds of the time, and Team Phoenix Sports is just waiting for the other teams to get close to the zone, because the only team who all has the support, who has all the support of the zone, and that'll be only one Team Phoenix Sports. But Neon Rising slowly, they're trying to dodge the shots, dodge the visuals, also hide themselves out, and just they're waiting for Team Phoenix Sports to deal with Team Wild so that they can have the second placement, and that gets obviously you the 6th placement point. But there might be some game changes, right? And now you see that Team Neon Rising interacting with Team Wild Sports, while Team Wild losing the 2 of the players, and now Team Phoenix Sports fighting with Team Neon Sports, and that gets Team Neon in some stable moments so that they cannot come further, and Team Phoenix Sports taking the kills too, so that they cannot go for the rescues. And then Kaneki just executes one grenade that secures to the players for Team Wild, and now Team Wild, all they has is just the final 2 players to deal with this situation, with this chaos. But Team Phoenix Sports taking this carefully.
Let's go. The nade there from Phoenix player Kaneki is getting the damage. I mean, he almost got the knock there, but then now he will be waiting for the player from Wild going in for that push. Estov in hand. He knows that there's someone outside him, but then he will not be going in for that push. A nade is getting hooked up. One nade will work. Which one will it be? But then is the player from Phoenix getting the knock there. Wild is down, but then Phoenix does get knocked as well. And that means that the player that is Nilo will be going in for that revive before the players from Phoenix are able to get the revive. Neon Rising players, that is Wizard Boss, closing in as well, trying to get the nades, the mollies to connect to be able to get at least something for his team. The placement is there, but then the eliminations are not that much for the players from Neon Rising. And nade is getting hooked up by Lucifer. Is it going to be a Kobe on the players from Wild? The nade is well executed, but then it doesn't really connect yet. Another nade coming from Lucifer. He is looking for a Kobe. Might just be the nade that works for him, and it does land next to the players from Wild, but then nothing is changing yet. Zaid there is changing his position as well, waiting for that loophole to be able to go in for that push on the players from Phoenix. The zone is about to shift, and the players will be forced to get closer to each other, making sure to confirm their knocks there. The player from Wild, that is Nilo, does ensure to get the thrust there. And I remember Neon Rising has a solo standing outside, and finally the zone is about to close in. Wild going in for that push. Lucifer using the vehicles as his cover after losing a player to Neon Rising player, and finally we can see him closing in. No one can spot him using the vehicle to his advantage. He is holding the DBS, and now he will be waiting for Neon Rising to do the work for him, and then finally he can come sweep what is left, and he goes in towards the vehicle, and Neon Rising player does get the last player, that is Lucifer from Phoenix. Two players remaining. Neon Rising Wizard might just be doing that thing. Nades coming from every single angle. Wild will be going in for that push. Amazing DBS knock. Now just one man standing. Nades from every single angle. Wizard waiting for that chance, and Zaid will be waiting outside with the DBS in hand, waiting for Neon Rising player Wizard to get closer. He might just get spotted. DBS and both players. Who is the best DBS player? Must be either of them, because all of them are feeling confident with the DBS. Zaid waiting for the pre-fire. Wizard waiting for him to make a mistake as well, and finally Zaid goes in for that push, and just like that, finally Wild finally gets the winner chicken dinner. I am very and completely sure that QRK is the happiest man tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Team Wild is actually going wild at the end of the game. Like, I really enjoyed the clutches. I really enjoyed the moments, like the peak shots, the confidences, the grenades, the game senses according to the rotation paths, also taking out the AG teams. Like, they were so accurate, taking down the problems in front of the paths. And now Team Wild has the 60 points, and that will surely get them inside of the top 5 competition. I guess not in the top 5, but at least in the top 7 teams. But the points are not that far to reach onto. So I hope the last day will definitely become the finest day for this competition, like Battle of Titans. You see, the team is taking lots of points, not that much, but 15 points are coming out from the game, as Pila has contributed the team 2 eliminations, and Z2 or ZYT, taking the 2 eliminations for that. And then there we see Zodiac and Nilo just dealing with the damages, but not being able to secure any kills for this time. But clearly we can hope for the best on the upcoming days. Sponsored by Morvix Esports, and you can obviously follow us from Twitter and also from Facebook, Instagram, and also on YouTube, and also on TikTok too. So make sure that you follow PUBG Mobile Nigeria. And now the Battle of Titans says the competition is getting more aggressive and getting more intense according to the overall leaderboard. Now you see the game change that are actually happening by Team Wild. They've dealt with lots of gatekeeps, and then at first they were inside of this final 8th stage. They were about to execute it perfectly, but the moment when Wizard Boss find out the Lucifer, I was so amazed and shocked, like how he gets the player. And then the next pick was amazed me a lot. And then he was waiting for the moment, but ZYT found out about the player being in the corner, and then he was so sure that how to take the player down by getting inside the compound. That was so risky, right? So Team Wild getting wild at the end of the moment by taking the final kill. I really enjoyed that because that gets connected with the name as well.
Yeah, I mean, that was really impressive. Like you said, they went wild and they got themselves that chicken dinner that they worked so hard to get. And when you look at the match summary, there are 61 eliminations, quite impressive with 65 knocks from that game. Total healings at 6,044 with 9 grenade eliminations used in that game. We have seen amazing grenade executions in that fight. I mean, players were ready to dominate and they did exactly what they needed with the grenade. Looking at the head to head there, Phoenix and Wild. 12 eliminations for Phoenix, with Wild getting 5 eliminations. But then you see the chicken dinner there for Wild is a plus for them, and for the placement points, of course, does give Phoenix one step ahead of Wild in the overall rankings. In that Phoenix got 17 points in total, with Wild getting 15 points from that game. The chicken dinner is what boosted Wild in that game, but then the damage from Phoenix side, 1,786, is quite high. It does align with the 12 eliminations, and we saw this happening right on our screens. Phoenix Esports was ready to dominate the Battle of Titans. They were ready to be the ones shining, and the man of the match, MVP, is none other than the Phoenix Esports player Newell, getting 5 eliminations, a damage of 712, 1 assist, surviving 26 minutes and 34 seconds, 4 knocks to his name, and a healing of 276. I mean, Phoenix Esports, they did put in the effort. They did work towards their chicken, rather their points being high. Even though they were not able to get the chicken, they somehow were able to get good overall rankings for their team. Top players there we have
Yeah.
in second place, Neon Wizard, 4 eliminations, a damage of 740. Third, we have Mo Pasta, 4 eliminations and a damage of 722. Phoenix player coming in fourth, that is Kaneki, with 4 eliminations, a damage of 598. And then in fifth place, there we have a future esports player Ronaldo, getting 3 eliminations and a damage of 817. So amazing distribution there. These players did put in the work, they did put in the effort. They needed the players to get the teams getting good points. And finally, after the game ends the second time again, Phoenix Esports, even though they did not get a chicken dinner, they do get the first place position in the match rankings, getting 17 total points from the game. Second place, we have Wild, not that far at 15 points. Near Rising coming in third with 12. Persecutors fourth with 10. Fifth, we have Fake Dream getting 8. Future Esports and Morvix Esports are tying at 7 points each. Team Not with 4. Team Execute 3. We have 3 Crowns Esports, More Esports in the Donkeys getting 2 points, as well as Tribe Warriors. Zodiac Esports getting 1 point together temper from that game. But for XTC, Rage Esports and Nov Esports, they did not secure any points from that game. Really unfortunate, and I'm yet to understand what is happening there. I do understand that sometimes the game's strategies can change, but what exactly is happening to XTC, Rage Esports, Nov Esports kind of missed that game. But for XTC and Rage Esports, of course, we'll be looking to see what has changed there. But then Phoenix Esports is really putting their best foot forward, and that is working out for them really, really good.
Absolutely. Even without the chicken dinner, they're taking the highest number of points from the game. And here comes the MVP of the day. Yes, that is none other than Tony. But this is the overall MVP, not for the day. Yes, he is on top right now with the average damage dealing about of total 475.13, and then assists of 1, and knockouts of ratio, the average knockouts ratio at 2.13. Nice, there was a good KD. Now I see the matches played of 8, and he point average on per game, and that's where it works for Tony, as this is such a famous name. I love the name, according to Iron Man, the actually Marvel character. So yeah, Tony is really becoming the Iron Man of the tournament for now.
Yeah, I mean,
Irony.
exactly. Yeah, I see what you did. and I see it. So yeah, I think Tony is really doing a good job for his team. I mean, the donkey's there, he's getting the points, he's making sure that they're boosted, because he's really fighting for the team. They're getting the knocks, getting the thrust, dealing the damage in every single game. And of course, the overall top players will still have Tony leading their 24 eliminations to his name. Amar coming second at 17, tying with Neon, who is in third place at 17. And Pew Pew gets fourth place with 14 eliminations, a damage of 2,954. That does give him one step ahead of Pain, who has 17 eliminations, similar to Wizard and Amar, but then his damage is a little bit low compared to all the players in the overall top players ranking. But it is nice to see that some of them have maintained their position in the MVP. But for Pain and Pew Pew, when tomorrow comes, they might be on the losing side unless they focus. The team in general does get to do better in terms of the rankings and how they play the games, and the overall rankings are out, and the team Execute still leading, 78 total points to their name. The Donkey's not that far, and they have 77 points on their name as well, just 1 point away, and that margin will be easily closed. Future Esports coming in third, there are 72 points in total. More getting 64 points, while 60, 3 Crowns 55, Neon Rising getting 48, Rage with 43, 9 Phoenix 41, 10 we have Ecstasy 38, 11 we have PST 35, 12 Tribe Warriors 34, 13 Novo with 31, 14 more Esports 27, 15 Zodiac with the 22, 16 Fake Dreams 19, 17 they have Temper there at 17 points, and then not getting 9 points as well. You saw the 17 and 17.
Yeah,
But I mean,
you
Temper is
got the
doing
point.
good. We have to give them that, really.
Absolutely. Just been participating on the 4 games and taking such that points on this kind of competition that really amazes us. But I see the last final day tomorrow, that is going to be so amazing for the top 6 teams right there. It's like three Crown Esports needs 20 plus points on the first game, and then they can get on top. But meanwhile, your table toppers should be stepped back because of you. Because if they take the same number of points and you take the same number of points, the gap remains the same. But if you want to fill the gaps, then you should compete with the table toppers at first, to settle with them at first, so that they cannot take any points from the game. But some plays the mind game here and some may not. According to this zone meta I've witnessed, I've clearly differentiated a lot. Like the zone is not the same according to South Asia and Southeast Asia or the MENA region. This zone is completely different. The zone every time gets a new heart attack for the teams, like what the next zone
Yeah.
can be and where they should maintain the
Yeah.
paths. But the competition is so close in the top 3 teams, like Fuji Sports on 72, TK on 77, and Execute on 78. Nobody has touched the 80 points, and it's not been in the upper hand a lot by Team Execute. It's like Team Future can become the champion, Team DK, Team Execute can become the champion. Even Team Morvex and Team Wild also has the chances. Right today, Team Wild played also well at the very end of the game. They did own the chicken dinner that gets them on that position, and I hope the final day would be more amazing to witness together.
Yeah, of course. I mean, last day is always the one with the most balance, most action, as the teams try to close in that gap. Well, it has been joining you.
Okay.
I wanted to say your name in few, but I won't. I realized I'll say it wrong. But then QRK joining in
Yeah.
here has been an amazing experience. He has walked us through day 2, and we have enjoyed it. So thank you so much for having me here, and I'm sure tomorrow will be amazing as well. Don't you think so?
Yeah, I think so. It's been such an amazing experience for me to share the custard disc with you. You're such a talented and skilled person out there. I find that, and such an entertaining person too, because you understand the senses. Like you can connect the senses. Even we met first time today, so yeah, that was so amazing. Yeah, the synergy works very well. Now, gentlemen, the teams should be prepared, and they should be prepared too for the final day to be witnessed, because the championship is about to be loaded. So yeah, be ready for the final day. Now for tonight, we'd like to end the stream, and we'd hope for all of you to come with us to enjoy it. Now that's all, my lord. Let's get ended. See ya tomorrow.